Well, hello again, everyone. This is Bob Mannery, and you're listening to Tom and Mike, AM in the PM, only on A2D Radio. Tom and Mike, these guys are fucking awesome. But their side piece, Greg, that guy is a goddamn problem.
Giddy up, Tom.
Mike.
AM.
In the PM.
A2D Radio. We're live from the Real Talk Studios. Every Wednesday night, we're brought to you by our certified public accountant. Make them yours. Find them on the web, GibsonMayer.com. Tom Arnone, Michael Mataraki, Greg Mwakovic, Dan McGuckin, Robbie Pope on the ones and twos. The family out there. Ooh, our baby goat is back. It's fucking exciting. Let's go. Let's go. You talking about Lane, talking about Zip. Best spiral he's ever seen. Oh, my God, this is unbelievable. He might throw 6 touchdowns on Sunday. I don't even know what to expect.
Oh, it's raining.
Well, it doesn't even matter. He's got big hands. He ain't got Jared Goff hands. This is big hand talk. Later on the show, Sixers, 10-9-8. We're about a month away, a month and a half away.
Media Day's Friday.
We're close, baby.
It's about goddamn time they got themselves a general manager.
And they got themselves, in my opinion, a good one because I like guys who played in the league. I like guys like that. I fall in love with that. I think it makes it easier for players to come here. We'll talk about Elton Brand, the new Sixers GM, later on in the show. Birds, D versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We got to dive into it a little bit, okay? Some scheme, some guys get beat in this league, but we want to break it down a little bit throughout the show. Thoughts, predictions, offensive, defensive players of the game, offensive, defensive keys of the game, all that later on in the show as well. Your chance to win a little Visa gift card if you get the score right and nail the players. The players are like the extra, the tiebreaker. Yeah, absolutely. So we'll do that. But everything tonight to start this show off is the return of the baby goat. Ties right into our poll question. I just love saying that. Ties right into our poll question brought to you by Scanzano Sports. Find them on the web, scanzanosports.com. What is your expectations for Carson Wentz's 2018 debut? Comes out like a pimp and strong, 2018 version of Nick Foles, MVP Carson, or rookie year Carson? Let us know. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. A2D Radio is where you can find us. We'll read off your questions, comments, and I know there's some family out there with major goddamn concerns, and we'll touch on that too because we want to know. Because I know people out there because we'll talk about it as we talk about the defense, but Jalen Mills' comments to me are 100% spot on. 100% spot on. Because when you talk about cutting a guy, when you literally talk about cutting a guy, yeah, that's crazy talk. You're not a real fan. Like, if you want to criticize, it's different. But when you attack like that, like, you know what I mean? Like, don't forget a body of work. Everybody out there wants to talk about Nick, right? Oh, Nick deserves a free pass. He got a Super Bowl MVP. Well, what about everybody else then? You can't have your cake and eat it too, right? You can't change the narrative because the guy's not the best corner in football. The guy's toughness, Danny, like we talked about, he's just a good football player. Nobody's running stride for stride with Deshaun Jackson in this league in the open field.
No.
And if you know that corner, let me know because I'll give Howie a call. All right, but to our poll question, boys.
Howie's got other concerns right now.
Plenty. Wide receiver concerns. We'll talk about Jordan Matthews' return to Philadelphia as well. Some baby making music happened out in Buffalo, like you talked about.
Baby making music, more like baby making weather.
Yeah, it's great, though. I mean, I with the caption. Imagine if it was Antonio Cromartie. 27 kids.
He already had 30.
I know he spent a year in Buffalo. Oh, my God. He's not stopping. Our poll question, what is your expectations for Carson Wentz's 2018 debut? Like a pimp? 2018 version of Nick Foles? MVP Carson? Rookie year Carson? Again, let us know. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, ATD Radio. Boys, who wants to get the party started? What are you expecting?
I'll jump on it. I'm expecting rookie year Carson. If you remember his first game against the Browns, he was a little excited, a little erratic, but he did have a pretty good game, got into the end zone a couple of times. And, you know, it was, if you remember back to his rookie year, he got hurt in the first preseason game against Tampa Bay. Basically, at that point, they had said that they were going to redshirt him more or less for the season. Then all of a sudden, they got the deal that they couldn't refuse for Sam Bradford.
Thank you,
and
Minnesota.
Carson Wentz becomes a starter on 8 days' notice. There was a lot of emotion, a lot of excitement. And even though he's now a seasoned pro, a guy who was, you know, on track to win the MVP last year, you got to figure in his first start back after his team won a Super Bowl without him, there's going to be a lot of excitement, a lot of emotion, and he's just going to have to dial it down a little bit, and he'll be fine. But I think at least the first couple of games you're going to see, you know, the pup again.
A little rust?
A little bit.
You expect a little bit? That's fine.
A little rust, a little youthful, maybe over-excitement, try to force some throws maybe.
Ties right into what I was going to ask you.
But he'll be all right.
The environment's going to be rocking Sunday at Lincoln Financial. I mean, you might as well call it a Super Bowl. I mean, that's the kind of environment you're going to see Sunday when he comes out of that tunnel. Now, how does he handle that himself?
Yeah.
You know, does he start out balls high because the energy's so high? So how does he learn to as he grows into even a better football player, to sort of channel his emotions and just go play football? That's what I'm excited to see. Because I'll go last, but I mean, I'm expecting some big stuff.
Well, you'll know right out of the gate because the best thing that Doug could do for him would be to run play action and take a deep shot on the first throw of the game. Let him just air it out and throw it as far as he can.
Playing on that leg.
Yeah, but yeah.
Drive time.
You know, it's literally, seriously, like let him, you know, go play action to keep the defense honest, you know, 7-step drop, let him air it out as far as he can. And then just be like, okay, incomplete. All right, well, guess what? There's your first throw. It's out of your system. Let's go.
Did I say that Sunday too?
Yeah.
Or just talking to you or something.
I think just through talk.
I was like, I just Doug's style. It's just Doug's MO. Like, I play action, take a shot, let's go. You know, get your feet wet right away.
It was
My
also
question to
Andy's
you.
MO.
No, absolutely.
My question, though,
Tree talk.
Who's he throwing to it down the field?
Nelson.
Nelly.
It's Nelly. It's got to be Nelly.
Danny, what are you expecting?
It's the only one you
strong?
got.
Pimp strong Sunday or something else?
Hold on. Let me come back to that. Either that or they start Josh Adams and they split him out wide and just let him run right by the linebacker that's inevitably going to be covering him.
Hold on, Danny. Before you go, let me get to the family real quick before we get overblown here and I miss comments. Frank Vaspi says, sup, guys? Answer the poll question. Carson will have a little rust on him when he takes the field, but knowing him, he's going to play just fine. I agree, Frank. Ralphie D. Yo, boys, flag will fly. J-Matt stinks, but Carson doesn't.
I love it.
Vinny Masson, I think Carson's going to come out and look like he didn't miss any time. Maybe it's being hopeful, but I do believe it. Vinny, we're right here, brother. I'm having that same feeling. Mike Parker says, baby goat, the pimp. John Daniel Larazzo, my fucking dude. Let's go. You crack me up. I don't know if he's talking about me or you guys, but he loves us all. We love you too, Johnny. Tony Cotillo going all in, 280, 3 touchdowns. I like where your head's at, Tony. Hey, I love you, Tony. Look at you thinking.
Here's the thing, though. It shouldn't be hard to go for 280-3 against
the Colts.
Right.
He also says no free passes. This is Philly, not Dallas. And I don't want my words to be misconstrued on a free pass.
Right.
If guys don't get it done, crush guys and let them know you ain't getting it done. I'm fine with that. But you're going to talk about your starting outside corner, and there's literally a part of this fan base that was talking cuts? Stop. That's crazy. That's unfair, and that's not criticism. That's asinine. There's a big difference. Robbie Poe over there between rookie and MVP due to game rust. Fair. Mike Parker, I think the first 2 series, he's going to be excited, but he's going to settle in. Michael DeAndrea, time to light shit up. I love it. Mike Parker, dude is composed. Jim Gilchrist. Russ, but after the rust shakes off, he'll be good. Hopefully he did not come back too early and get hurt again. Well, whatever the fuck you do. But yeah,
and that's coming from a Vikings fan.
Look at you, Jimmy. Class. You guys are skull. People are all going to tune out now like we're Vikings fans. And then Tony says, who's he throwing to? Well, Nelly's my dog, man. I mean, Nelly to me is going to be a number 1 wideout in this league real soon. This is his 4th season. This is now his senior year like we like to talk about, and this is where you really break through. And I think with 11 back and them 2 in the facility at 4 a.m. in the morning, he's going to have a monster last 14 games with Carson Wentz. I'm telling you, you're going to forget that Alshon's gone for a week or 2 because that's how their chemistry is really good together. It really is. That's his guy.
Well,
him and Ertz is his targets. Like, think about it. Alshon went missing in some games with Carson. Nelly and Ertz never did. Right. Think about it. They really never did.
I threw it out there today, though. Wouldn't surprise me one bit. J-Mac goes 5 for 80 and a touchdown because that's Carson's boy, and if he can find him, he will.
No, he will. I can see it. I mean, they're best friends. I mean, he was like heartbroken when he left. I mean, hopefully Jordan catches the ball from Carson. That's my only issue with Jordan was just dropped. I thought he was the stigma of drops took over this receiving core when he was here. Now, did he have some good years? Yeah, absolutely he did. Did he catch a lot of balls? Yeah, he did. But he's not a number 1 wideout caliber guy. He's a solid pickup at this point of the season when what do you really have out there?
Yeah.
Pop Monez says, what's up, fellas?
What up, Pop?
Pop. Wentz is back. Mack with next Eagle back. Could be. But I think that all depends on Alshon, boys. I really do. I think if Alshon's back next week, no. But I think if Alshon's another 2 or 3 weeks away, I could see it happening.
Right.
A couple more to read off. Kyle Meager, Tom, I'm starting to feel a loss, to be completely honest. I hope we pull it out, but I'm getting a funny feeling. I guess I think Wentz plays well, but we're going against a determined luck. Well, Kyle, this guy missed out on playing in the freaking Super Bowl. You want to talk about determination? I mean, we know how hard this guy works. If you think anybody's Carson right now is going to be more determined than Luck. Luck's already got his beak wet.
I don't think after last week's slop that Doug would allow us to come home and lose. That doesn't make sense.
I just think that's the biggest bullshit comment I've ever heard from Kyle because he's a Nick Foles disciple, and he's probably got his panties in a wad because Nick went back to the bench.
Yeah, and listen, dude, you can love Nick, and I don't expect you not to love Nick, but this is the franchise guy. Rally behind this guy's work ethic. Like, there's not one thing about this guy that you can't like. Like, if you don't like something about him, you might need to look in the mirror. Really, or just go jump or go be, a fan of another team. Seriously. Like, what's their – and I'm not crowning this dude as a savior of football, but he's everything you want in a franchise quarterback. Nothing off the field. Teammates love him. Works harder than anybody else on this football team. That's what you want. That's how – what do you think the culture changed last year for? Because of Nick Foles?
And by the way, he can sling it a little bit.
A little bit. You think that's what the culture change was? Like we talked about the Sixers and Joel, right? Joel is a culture changer. Carson's a culture changer. Them guys don't fall off of trees. They're hard to find. And when you find one, especially to his level, who works as hard as he does, what's there not to like or rally behind? I think this entire fan base, or 99.9, is rallying behind this kid on Sunday. You know what I mean? Nobody's out there wanting them to do bad. And if you are, I can't help you, babe. I really can't. And that's not directed at Kyle. That's directed at everybody because there's people out there that want Nick Foles to start. It's crazy.
I'll give Kyle credit, though. I mean, his boy.
Stand by his man.
He went down there, in a real tough environment with almost no weapons on Sunday and played pretty well.
Right.
I mean, not a whole lot of quarterbacks in the NFL going to convert third and 11, third and 12, third and 41, and third and 17 on 4 consecutive series. It's just not going to happen.
No, it's not. And listen, the weapons, he's playing with a practice squad. So a little, in Nick's defense, last year when we went on our run, boys, this offense was not banged up. I mean, I was saying this on Sunday. The only guy that was out, and I'm not saying only because he wasn't a big loss, was Jason Peters. Okay, say Sproles, whatever. Our backfield was loaded. All right, we could got away with that last year.
Right.
But when he was making his run, he had all his weapons to throw the ball to and distribute the football to. So coming into Sunday, where he has nobody left, essentially, that's tough, man, for a backup. It's tough. Danny, to the poll. What are you expecting out of Carson?
So I'm saying first half, you're going to see a little 2016 Carson. Might take a half. Obviously, it's going to take longer than a half to knock the rust off, but I think he's going to get more comfortable. The nerves will settle, and he's going to make a lot of plays in the second half. That's where I'm going.
Little second half adjustment Carson.
Yeah.
Fits right in the Dougie.
I love the answer, 2018 Nick Foles. It's just a great answer. But no, I agree. I think it's going to be, to me, he's going to be closer to rookie to year Carson, where every once in a while you're going to get a high throw just because of the excitement. You know what I mean? Coming back, he's going to be amped up. What's that first hit going to look like to him? Mm-hmm. What's that first slide going to look like to him?
I hope it's not the same hit Luck took.
As you said,
on his first hit.
What's that first 7-step drop back, plant, drive off that back leg going to look like?
Right.
What's the first rollout? Because that's all we're going to be looking for on Sunday is what are those first going to be?
Right.
It's almost like he is a rookie all over again because, he's missed so much time. But I expect him to play well. I expect him to be a little rusty, miss throws here and there, high, low, just because of the, the anxiety, the environment.
I love it. Stay there. Stay there, babe.
I
love it because I love that, you're sold that he's going to have a good game, Mike, right?
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be MVP caliber, but he'll have a good game.
Danny's saying a little side of caution first half, but a big second half. Greg's thinking he's 2018 version of Nick Foles. And
No. I said rookie of the year.
He just said he loved the.
I just love the answer.
Oh, okay.
I
Yeah.
love
So
the
you're
answer.
rookie year.
I'm
Okay.
rookie
So
year.
that's fine. So I'm gonna go like a pimp then, because I think if this kid is who we all think he is, and you hear in practice where guys are talking about the zip and everything and how well he's moving around. I saw him running off the field today, and it was probably one of the first times I saw him running where I didn't see him favoring him. Remember we talked about that a couple weeks ago?
In the Atlanta game.
Thursday night when he was warming up, he was favoring that leg. And you're like, whoa.
Yeah,
Hold up.
He would jump a little bit when he would throw.
Hold up. He ran off the field, and he ran by Peters. I don't know if you guys saw the video, but he just ran by Peters after they huddled up, right, then practice, and he sprinted, and there was no limp. And I said,
go.
304 TDs.
Well, here's the weird thing, though, with that, and I noticed it when I was down there at their open practice in August. He actually was moving better going full speed than he was walking or jogging. And maybe that's just, the body's natural movement or whatever, but, I'm not trying to be the bucket of cold water on this thing. I don't think you're going to see anything close to MVP caliber Carson until after their bye week. Because I think he's got to go through about 6 games, which takes them right to Jacksonville in London. He's going to have to go through about 6 games, and there's going to be some ups and downs. Now, I do think it's going to be more ups than downs. Sure. But I think he's going to have to go through about 6 games, get the ups and downs, get all the rust off, the jitters out, and get that week off to allow his body to sort of recover a little bit and then go, okay, my leg's good. I can handle this. Let's go.
Remember,
and then he'll finish strong.
Remember week 1, his rookie year against Cleveland. Just right from Jump Street, killing plays and all that kind of stuff. I just expect the rebound and not the learning curve at this point, because the learning curve is sort of over, but just the comfortability and the confidence. I just feel like that's going to be there right away with him. Now, I'm not saying he's not going to throw a couple balls high early on and just be a lot of excitement going on, but I feel like once he gets that first drive or that first completion out of the way, I think we're going to see that form come back real quick with him. But the difference between him and Deshaun Watson first game is Deshaun really uses his legs a lot, right? I mean, he's not a pocket guy. Carson can stay in the pocket and throw the football. So the difference to them two is where Deshaun's first game, New England eliminated him from being able to run. Stay in the pocket. If you beat us in the pocket, so be it. Okay? if Indy goes, well, you know what, we're going to make you stay in the pocket. He can beat you staying in the pocket. So my thing is, I think he's going to make plays on the run, but I don't think he's going to run a lot. But I think you're going to see the same. I think you're going to see the same guy. I really do. I think you're going to see a form of that MVP guy. Now, am I saying he's throwing 5 touchdowns? No, but I think he has a really good game. I'm looking somewhere from 280 to 300, 3 TDs, and maybe a pick. And that pick would be early, like Danny's saying. You know what I mean? Somewhere early in the game.
Oh, it's interesting that you said that because there was something that I was going to come back to you with, but SJM86 on the tube actually took almost the exact same word, so I'm going to give it up.
It's our family.
He will have a couple of moments, but I feel he is as sharp as they come, and this is where I was going to go. He's been on the Microsoft Surface for months waiting for this game. His preparation is second to none. I'm fully confident.
Dude, when the dude's in the building before anybody else, the Larry Bird effect takes over. He's going to have a monster game Sunday. Now, if you're going against the Bears D right now, who can flat out get after the quarterback, right? I'll be a little more concerned on his performance, right? This defense stinks, and they really stink outside the dome. Our defense, that everybody was crushing against the Bucs, our defense is a top 3 defense at home. They don't travel as well. We sold in the Super Bowl. We've seen it last year in L.A. The trend's there. They're damn good at home. They got to figure out how to be better on the road. So you're coming home. We're one of the best home football teams in the National Football League over the last 2 seasons. I think that we dominate defensively. I think we get them in some easier situations, some turnover, stuff like that get us up early and feeling good. And I think once he starts feeling good, I think that's where it's over. And we don't even have to have the conversation on what to expect anymore. But I can see the first drive or two being a little, you're right, I could. Yeah. But I could also see this guy just being that much of a freak and coming out in the first drive going, 8 plays, 80 yards for a T. You know what I mean? Like that's what you don't know about him because he's so special.
It could almost be like one of the Adrian Peterson things where didn't miss a beat. Like, would he run for 2,000 yards? Like, he's just a different breed. I think Carson is the different breed, so we'll see.
Some guys are, and I think good guys, like genuinely good people, good things happen for good people. I'm not trying to be all fucking spiritual here. You know what I mean? But good things happen for good people. If you're a good person, good things are going to happen around you, and good things are going to happen to you. Like his comment after he got hurt last year, this is, something bigger's in play. Yeah. I mean, it's almost like Jesus was telling us, hey, we're going to be all right. We're going to go win a Super Bowl. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like he knew. Like the guy's just a freak. And I love him. I have the same love for him that I have for Joel. It's funny. Like, them two are like.
Yeah, they're my two.
They're my 2 guys because they're special and they're good dudes. Like Joel, another guy, never in trouble. No, and Ben's just a good kid. Never in trouble, but he doesn't have the personality that Joel does, and that's fine.
Right.
And he can be more reserved, and that's okay. But Carson doesn't have the personality Joel has, but he has a real big one. Yeah. He really does. And he's a great kid, and you can tell how that trickles through the locker room. You can tell by guys' smiles in interviews, right, when he was cleared. I mean, guys were lighting up.
Guys were posting on Instagram for him. They were so hyped. They're like, oh, our guy's back.
You see Doug, when he announced it, I mean, the smile was like, his firstborn.
You should have saw the wood underneath the podium.
Oh, I'm sure. 6 to midnight. But
mine was.
I got a couple here on the Instagram.
Yeah, you might have to give yourself a little click. There you go.
There we go. Phillies family fly, Eagles fly. Wentz is going to throw over 3 TDs Sunday.
All right.
Wentz will have an MVP bounce-back year, 3 TDs again.
Let's go.
Robbie Pove, enjoy the show, best in the business.
Who's that guy?
I don't know, some guy. Better Astrax. We need Alshon back before we see Carson look MVP-esque. Receivers need more separation. Same issue we had with Carson in his rookie year. And then Dextroyer 97 with the smiley face heart eye emoji. We love you, too.
We love you.
By the way, to your point, 14-3 at home under Doug Peterson.
It's unreal.
16-3.
I'm not counting the playoffs.
Why not?
Because we're talking about a regular season game. Easy over there, young buck.
So 16-3 including playoffs, 14-3.
Regular season. Yeah.
Regardless, it's playing good football at home. Michael DeAndre says, I want to hear predictions except from the guy on the right of Tom.
That would be me?
No, Greg.
Not me.
Greg always picks.
Well, on camera, wouldn't that be to the left of Tom?
No, I think you got it right. Well, which guy, Mike or Greg? Mike. Mike Parker.
Greg's the one that always picks against him, so probably Greg. But
Mike Parker, 380, 4 TDs and a rush TD from 5-yard line to get his beak wet. 35-13, Wentz and Bradham. So he's already picking his players of the game.
Wow.
Look at you, Mikey Park.
Hold
Park
up a
man.
second. To throw for 380, he's probably going to have to
Jesus
throw it
Christ.
45 times. If
That
he's
ain't-
throwing the ball 45 times, we're in trouble.
Maybe not, because if we're running that much, we might be in trouble too. We have no backs.
We have no one to run the ball.
Our best play. This might be a week where, like, I can see it already, right? Say he throws for 40, 45 times. Oh, you know what's going to happen on Monday. Oh, Doug's throwing too much with him. You know it's coming. We already can smell it.
But
Is that Andy back?
but it's okay for Mahomes to drop back 40 times because he's just slinging it.
I mean, you were talking about some dude slinging it right now. Oh.
Hey, Chicago. How'd you like that performance?
How's
Bears
Mitchell?
fans?
How's Mitchell doing?
Mika Ray. What up, Mika?
What up, Meek?
He said if we block for Carson, he will have a big game. If we don't, it's going to be bad.
I mean, you can say that every week.
Would you believe I actually have a fantasy team where I have a decision to make this week?
Yeah,
Mahomes or Carson?
Mahomes.
Oh, yeah. It's got to be Mahomes.
I mean,
Who
he's playing so well
Who
right
are they
now.
playing now?
49ers
49ers.
Where?
At home,
in Arrowhead.
In Arrowhead.
Yeah.
it's Mahomes. It's Mahomes until proven otherwise.
Where are we at? Okay.
In 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks.
So you guys want to get in a little prediction game?
Yeah, we can do that.
Where we reading off comments, little offensive, defensive players of the game, little scores for the people out there listening. They love this part of it. And obviously, give us your score prediction, offense, defensive player of the game, little chance to win a little Visa gift card from us to you. You got to screenshot it, though. All right? Got to screenshot it and send it over. Who wants to get that started?
Go ahead, young buck.
I'll go 27-13 Eagles. Offensively, I'm going to go Ertz just because that's Carson's boy. I mean, we talked about Matthews, but I think Ertz just. And then defensively, I'm not the biggest Mills guy, but I have to go Jalen Mills. I think he rebounds well.
Comes back with a nice game.
Yeah.
I'm going to do this for the family.
Michael DeAndre says, don't do it, Greg.
I'm going to do it for the family.
Don't pick them.
I'm going to do it for the family. I'm going 27-24 Colts.
I'll throw up.
I'm doing it for
I
a
will
purpose.
too.
I know.
I'm doing it
I'm
for
just
a
saying,
reason.
I'll throw up.
I'm going to go Andrew Luck as your offensive player of the game, and I can't name a guy on the defense.
I want to say Vontae Davis,
I
but
was going to go Vontae.
he was there for a hot minute before he went to Buff.
So that's where I'll go. I did it for a reason.
I know. We know. For the team. Bigger than you.
31-17 Birds. Offensive player of the game. It's going to be 11. Defensive player of the game. Going 22.
All right.
Sid.
Think it's,
Sid the Kid.
think it's time for the first NFL interception out of Sid the Kid, and it may be housed.
I was going to say pick six.
Could be.
I love a little house talk.
Little pick six talk.
Listen, I think it's a roll job. I'm going 34-10. Teams on.
You just completely jinxed your jinx, but that's okay.
You know, it's just I just feel the confidence is going to be there from all these guys. They're going to rally behind them, man. I just expect a great performance from this defense, and 11's going to sling it. Mike took him as the player of the game. I mean, I think he has a huge day. I'm around 300, 3 TDs type day, but I'm going to go Nelly. I think Nelly has a big day offensively. That's his guy, one of his guys outside of Ertz. I think Nelly has 2 TDs in this game. I think it's a big day. Defensively, I'm going to go with a guy who we haven't really picked here that much. I'm going to go Michael Bennett. I think Michael Bennett has a big game.
All right.
We need him to have a big game.
Another guy coming off of comments. And
Because I was coaching, I missed Sunday's game, so I don't know if he had any impact offensively.
He had 1 tackle for a loss, and that was it.
Well, let's go get
he blew up to play, though. It was a great play.
I want to go back to real quick. I want to go back to the guy I mentioned earlier, though, Josh Adams. Don't be surprised if Doug uses him early just to see how the kid's going to respond. And if he gets rolling a little bit, just to start seeing Doug just feed him. Because he's
Adams.
Yeah, because he's the type of back, very much like a Jai, that if you give it to him 2 or 3 times in a quarter, he may or may not do anything. But if you give it to him 7 or 8 times in a quarter and he gets rolling, the yards could start to pile up real quick.
Yeah, especially with a
The
lead.
2-3 yards turn into 7-8 yards.
Yeah,
Well, he could be
exactly.
a good closer late in the game too. I mean,
Yeah,
fourth
yeah.
quarter with a lead. I mean, he's kind of closer back, but it's funny out there. Like if you listen to people talk, I mean, really, some Eagles fans they would take him over Saquon Barkley and Ezekiel Elliott. I mean, you guys know what I'm talking about.
The preseason
I mean,
shit was ridiculous.
I mean, there are some people I know. Like an undrafted guy, like there ain't gonna be 2 undrafted running backs that have monster years. Okay, one's doing it in Denver. There ain't gonna be 2.
Well, but here's the thing.
the Lindsey kid?
Yeah.
He's so
Yeah,
yeah.
he's really good.
But you could look at a map, right? And you could take your imaginary pen and you could just do a big circle, and you get all of South Jersey, and then you get like all of Bucks County in that circle, because all the South Jersey people are going to be on Clement, and all the Bucks County people are going to be like on Adams.
They're going to be arguing with each other. Mike Parker says Matthews 12 catches for 225, right? And he's dying laughing. I said, I'll walk to Salisbury. Like, I'll walk to your house from here. If he hits 12 catches for if he even catches 12 balls, I'll walk to Salisbury on the house. Straight walk down 95 to 85.
He can't catch 12 balls out of the jug scoop.
No, he's tried. He's tried.
When he does his tennis ball
Speaking of
workout.
J-Matt, though, better extracts here. 31-24
What's up?
Birds.
31-24 birds.
31-24 Birds.
Damn, he thinks he's going to score a little bit. All
Corey
right.
Clement, Jalen Mills.
I like
and
the
then-
Jalen.
I
and
told you somebody was going to pick Clement.
I did get
Jersey
your
guy.
thoughts on the J-Matt signing. You like it. The chemistry you had with Carson was palpable when they were together. We haven't gotten into that. I'm sure we will now.
Well, listen. I mean, I know we put out a lot of memes like joking around about it and stuff like that. But I mean, at the end of the day, who are you going to go get at this point? Without if it's not Josh Gordon, like who are you going to go get? You're going to go bring somebody who knows the offense. It's just the way this league works at this point of the year. Now, I know people crush me out there, and I know there's some people who have my back with this, but this was Des Bryant time. I mean, this was a time when you're that desperate outside that, with all due respect to Jordan, it's not good enough, Howie. It's not good enough. But we can crush players in this city, but we give free passes to the general manager? The fuck out of here.
Well,
because the fact that New England got him for a 5th-round pick and you can't go in for a 4th with your culture and your gold standard is a fucking crock of shit. It's a crock of shit when you're in this desperate of a need, right? I mean, New England's in a need. What do they go do? I mean, New England's been rotating legitimate wideouts through camp, and right now, throughout this process, the sign. It's been Kenny Britt. It's been Corey Coleman. It's been legit guys, not fucking Kamir Aiken.
Jordan Matthews?
Jordan Matthews.
Who could cut it there?
You know what I'm saying, though? But, like, at least they brought in, like, okay, now we brought in Jordan Matthews. Sign. I'm fine with it. But to me, I don't need a splash. But I'm not even saying Gordon was a splash, but it
was the best available.
Your culture should be that good where you can make the call with 11 picks next year in the draft and say, you know what? And how the deal works out if he doesn't play 10 games and say, listen, okay, I'll give you a 4th for him. You know what I mean? Like sometimes you got to come in hot when you're in need. Now, if you had 8 picks next year or 7, okay, maybe you hold off. But with fucking 11, Howie, don't be the Browns. Don't be the Browns with your stockpile shit.
It's funny because
I just feel like he gets – listen, he had a great year last year of making moves, right? And he has a history of really good moves that look great on paper that don't translate. Last year they all translated for us.
Yeah.
Okay? But it doesn't mean that I can't – and other guys here can't criticize a guy when you think you lost. You lost. That's okay. On to the next one. Well, the next one shouldn't have been
Jordan
retreads.
Matthews,
It shouldn't be
Jeremy
retreads.
Maclin.
Like retreads here. It should be outside the organization. Hey, Des, I know you turned down 5 from Cleveland. Well, how about 1 year at $7 million?
Well, it was,
Yeah, I don't know, but they never talk. That's the problem.
But see, here, for me, I think it's interesting because Howie, when he's going to ante up the draft picks, he doesn't go for guys that are basically being cast off by other teams. He wants guys that have made rosters and are productive on their teams, but the teams are going nowhere, so they're willing to take something in return, a la Jay Ajayi last year.
Yep.
So Danny threw out a name on social media, I believe it was earlier today
You on the book,
or
Dan?
yesterday when you said Devontae Parker.
Yeah.
I will counter your Devontae Parker and tell you that you have the right team. You have the wrong receiver.
Stills.
I think they're looking at Kenny Stills.
Listen, I'm okay. I'm great with that.
I
Look
also
at
was-
you, Danny. Outside the box, fucker.
I was also thinking Marvin Jones or Golden Tate from the Lions.
Team going a little south.
I like the Lions. I got a different name for you.
I would love Marvin
They're not
Jones.
giving up Galladay.
No.
No. Give me Megatron.
Stop.
Stop it.
Dude, he's going to come get a win a ring.
Okay, we tried this last year.
He's going to come win a ring. Give me Megatron.
You're not putting this on.
No, but getting back to Howie real fast.
And the minute Megatron says he's going to come out of retirement, Detroit's going to say, okay, give me 2 1s.
I'll walk to Detroit.
Okay.
And I'll walk to Detroit.
No, but getting back to Howie, like, I was so nervous and so hesitant to crown him after the Super Bowl win because, as you said, he's made so many moves over the years that have made look great on paper but never panned out. The only difference in this last year is everything worked, as you said. And I think everything worked because there was one guy back there controlling everything, and that's 11.
Oh, and his coach is great, too.
Hold that thought for 1 minute. Clay, Clay
one.
said Gordon Deal still hasn't finalized. Clay, yes, it has. He practiced today.
Yeah, he practiced.
Limited
participation.
It's a fifth. What was it, 10 games?
Yeah,
10 games.
He's got to play at least 10 games or else the fifth goes to a seventh. But it is final. Absolutely. Sorry, Greg.
No, absolutely.
Continue.
I wish it wasn't, Clay. I wish it wasn't.
No, it's just like, I've been so hesitant to crown Howie because of the Super Bowl and to say, all right, Howie, you get a year off, you know what I mean? But no, not when this receiving core is as dreck as it is right now. You went out and you signed Mike Wallace, which was fine. That's great. But you still knew Alshon was going to miss time.
Right.
So you knew going into the season you were going to be Nelly and Wallace. That's it.
Right. And I know Tom felt like this, but I was also a little pissed off at Howie when he just outright cut Kendricks.
Yep.
Like, it was weird. Like, and you can't tell me, he knew about the trade.
No, he had no idea.
So I was not happy. You were telling me you can't get at least a fifth for Michael Kendricks.
Did you watch Kendricks on Monday night?
Right, exactly.
Michael Kendricks all over the football field Monday night.
I know.
I mean, it is what it is. With Nigel back and Jordan being healthy, but knowing Jordan's history, this is a guy who was crowning Michael Kendricks, one of his guys, and just like you said, they get nothing back. Yeah. It just doesn't make sense.
Especially when the year before he said we're not just going to let young talent go.
I think he's had a terrible offseason. I think Howie Roseman has had a terrible offseason this year.
Well,
terrible.
And I don't entirely disagree with that, but Greg, to your point, I think what they were doing was they were banking on having enough weapons in other places to be able to bide their time until the receiving core got healthy. And then I think what happened was Sproles got banged up, and I think what they had planned to do was use him a lot out of the slot, slide Nelly to the outside. And then I think, and this will go back to our Mark Eckel theory, Dallas Goedert, when the lights came on for real, Dallas Goedert looked every bit of a rookie in that game against Atlanta.
Absolutely.
And you saw last week, Josh Perkins took his snaps,
which is terrible.
But Josh Perkins caught the ball. Josh Perkins blocked defensive ends.
Didn't he drop 2 balls?
Goedert,
dropped one.
He dropped one.
One big one, right?
He made that huge deep pass.
All right, cool. Well, speaking of Dallas, real quick.
Go ahead.
Just because there was a comment, Jake Friel, Best Damn Eagles group, great
What up,
fucking
Jake?
group. What up, Jake? 31-14 Birds. Dallas jumps out of the basement, and Sidney Jones makes himself known on defense. So he went 2
Sid.
puppies.
Well,
2 puppies. I love it, Jake.
I know they're saying makes himself heard, but I think not hearing from him is actually a good thing. I saw this one stat that when on 59 coverage snaps or whatever, he has a 60. The quarterback's rating is only like a 60. So I mean, he's doing his job. But yeah, I want to see something more. Yeah,
it's always a good thing when you don't hear a corner's name.
It is, and I know people want to switch them too, but I'll say it again, and I argue with Charles all the time with it because he just doesn't get it. That Jalen Mills is not built to play the slot. Okay, not saying Sidney's going to be your slot guy forever, but that's not the switch you make. You understand? You don't go put him. If Jalen's not going to be on the field, the City's going to go outside, and Avonte Max is going to come in and play slot. You know what I mean? Like a slot guy. Like you can't go take a corner who doesn't have the speed to keep up with slot players. Right. Like Sidney has the speed to keep up with these smaller, quicker wideouts. So that's my whole point with that. Like, stop with the move Jalen to the slot and Sidney outside. You want to really hurt your fucking defense? Wake up. Corners get beat. It's just the way it is. Yeah. They all do. The best in the league. So
Me of Everything says Howie's being safe, not creative. I'm definitely disappointed. Pootie Tang says Howie definitely should have given a 4th for Gordon.
Maybe even a 3rd.
SJM said, listen, a lot of Howie doing well is influenced by Joe Douglas, too. I give Howie credit for bringing him in to shore up his own recognized weaknesses, specifically the draft.
Absolutely agree.
And then Clay Ferguson said outside the box guy, Rashad Green.
Yeah,
I don't hate that name.
He said that
either.
the other day. I like that name. But what was the comment before that about Joe Douglas?
about Howie bringing in Joe Douglas because Howie knew that he had his own shortcomings.
Isn't it funny how the Super Bowl ends, the curse ends, where you go get a guy who's been down that road before and is great at personnel and great at talent, right, and a talent evaluator, and he's real good at that. And you get that guy in the building, and look how good of an offseason you have last year. I mean, in terms of the talent that you brought in and the guys that you went and got, you had a hell of an offseason last year. Now, did Howie have a bad offseason this year as a group? No, they have a lot of guys back, which is fine. You went and got Bennett. You went and got Mike Wallace, and you hope Mike Wallace was going to be good enough, and him and Nelson would be good enough to get away with not having Alshon. So to be able to play Monday morning quarterback and like when I crushed him for a bad offseason, I'm more talking about right now, where I think he's had opportunities to strengthen this team at the wide receiver position, and he sort of just dropped the ball on it a little bit. And that's where my issue is. I don't think he had as bad of an all-season as I was saying. Because Bennett's a good signing. Wallace is a good signing. Kendrick's confusing, the release of Kendricks. But defensively, you get everybody back. Your dog's over there. And offensively, the same thing outside of Alshon. And you get Sproles back. So looking on it, like we all talked about it, this is a Super Bowl champs that got better.
Right.
So we knew we got better. So that's wrong of me to criticize the offseason because it was a good one, okay? It really was. That's wrong to play Monday morning quarterback on that. But right now, bad.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing, Tommy. There's also another way that you can look at this.
The little crow from time.
Did he go out and sign Mike Wallace and Kamar Aiken and Marcus Wheaton thinking that number 11 was going to be the one throwing the ball? Because there is a very distinct difference in the way these types of guys will perform with a guy that can sling it versus a guy like Nick who – needs to play within. He's a system quarterback.
Yeah, when Carson's not.
And I don't say that in an insulting or criticizing manner either. But we saw it last year. Nick is a system quarterback. When the system works for him, he works for the system.
Absolutely.
He's not going to go out and sling it all over the place and win a game by himself. And people that think that he did that in the Super Bowl need to go back and watch that game again because that was a system game through and through.
My wife bought me this, right? Okay.
That's awesome.
For my birthday. It's great. But I want to your point, because you're spot on. Alshon Jeffrey, 34-yard touchdown pass from Nick Foles. Okay, missed extra point. That's ridiculous. But I forgot all about the missed extra point. But Alshon, 34-yard touchdown pass. You guys forget that catch?
That was unbelievable.
Forget that fucking catch? Okay? Good ball. Great ball. Where only he can get it. But remember that catch?
I thought he was going to have another one, too, the one that he tipped up in the air and they wound up picking it off.
Look at Airborne 21-yard touchdown run, right? Okay? I'm just saying. Nick Foles, 1-yard touchdown pass, which is huge. And then Yurts, 11-yard touchdown pass. Coleman, 22-yard touchdown pass. But, I mean, like, there wasn't like, he was putting balls like throwing the greatest passes of all time. Or
that's my background.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great grab. That's a great ball, too. But that's one game. We know Nick can do that in small sample sizes. But overall, to Mike's point, it's tough, longevity for him to consistently be that guy week in, week out.
I just think back to week one, and there was a lot of criticism of Mike Wallace for quote-unquote not getting open deep when Nick threw those couple of deep balls. Well, that's where I was going with this was I guarantee you if Carson's the one back there throwing those balls, he's open and Carson's leading him up the field as opposed to him having to slow down and wait for the ball to come to him.
It's funny. My criticism in game one of Wallace was similar but different. Like it was like he didn't fight for the ball because he had to come back for it.
Right.
To your point, where if the ball's laid out in front of him, he can just run under it for an easy 6. Whereas I thought he kind of like got a little Ricky Waters, like didn't want to fight.
For what?
Yeah, didn't want to fight back. And I'm not saying he was, but didn't want to fight back where he could have got a flag. Because you're coming back to the ball, because it is underthrown, and because it is coming from 9.
But it's interesting because
and he wears one glove.
I'll be very curious on Sunday because one of the things that we saw from Nick in the opener that we saw a lot of improvement with in Tampa was him being late. I mean, he was late on a lot of throws against Atlanta, and that improved pretty dramatically against Tampa. So with Carson coming out first game, is he going to be late? Now, granted, Carson makes up for late with the arm strength.
Right.
Yeah.
There's never been a question about that. But, he should have sat him again. No. You don't lose a job in the NFL to injury, and if your franchise quarterback is healthy and cleared, he plays. That's a no-brainer.
One thing I'd like to see from Howie and Joe Douglas, instead of with these patch jobs with Torrey Smith and Mike Wallace, next year in the first or second round, go out and get a receiver. like you're talking about Nelson, he's finally becoming his own, but I would still like to see a legit rookie. I don't know. I think that'd be a good move.
No, I think you're actually spot on.
You're right, because Alshon's got 2 years left?
Yeah, but you
Right.
need to replenish.
Four.
You need to replenish.
4. They give him a
Right, but
5-year
you still
deal.
– oh, is it a 5-year? Okay.
Yeah.
So, but you're right. You have to
It was
replenish.
5.
We saw how long it took Nelly to come through. It took him
It takes
2
2 years. 2.
So you're
and
right.
Sometimes
You
3
draft,
for some guys.
You draft someone high who's got the talent that can come in and be that 4th, 5th guy. I don't want to say a la Mac Hollins, but a la Mac Hollins.
Yeah.
And learn from these guys, because you're right. I mean, you got Nelly in there who's going to give you the work ethic. You got the pure talent of a guy like Alshon who can just catch everything thrown at him.
It's funny that you brought up that name, Mac Hollins, though, because there were, I sat here with you guys and talked about the fact that Mac Hollins was a highly underrated receiver because every time they threw him the ball last year, he always caught it. Mm-hmm. I mean, he barely had any drops last year.
Played well for a rookie, Mike, definitely.
Yeah, every time that he played, he was open. They schemed for him in such a way that when he was on the field, you knew he was getting the ball, and if the ball came near him, he was catching it. And there were a lot of people that were like, oh, he's your 4th, 5th receiver. Why are you putting so much stock in him? Blah, 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 blah. Well, guess what? How good would Mac Hollins look lined up as a starter right now?
Yeah,
after,
at least another option.
Yeah, looking at, when you look at the fact that you lost Mike Wallace. Now, when Mike was here, I think I was a guy, I was like, you'll be okay without Mac because, Wallace, Aguilar should be good enough.
Right,
you know what I mean?
But if he was healthy, you could have had him starting for Aguilar.
Yeah.
Wallace on the other side and kept Nelly in the slot.
No, you're right, yeah.
And they wouldn't have missed a beat.
No,
But
you're right.
now,
Yeah.
You're kind of
agree.
scuffling a little bit.
Yeah, I do think the Hollins injury was a little more significant than we originally thought.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but when more add on. Because,
Yeah.
next man up
Yeah.
can only go so far.
Yeah.
Once you get into the practice squad, Fab, next man up's over.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
Like, now you're in the Josh Adams world and Kamir Aiken world.
Clay Aiken.
Clay Aiken world.
Who called him Clay Aiken?
Yeah.
Willie.
Oh, well, yeah.
Really?
But, like, once you get into that world, that's not next man up stuff. Next man up is your 53-man roster. Okay? Next man up doesn't go in that deep to when you're in the 60s. Right? And that's when it's like, that's panic time. That's where you got to go out and find some guys off the scrap heap and bring in that play pro ball. You know what I mean? And that's what we were getting to on Sunday,
and then
where that's not good.
Everybody out there was like, why did they cut DeAndre Carter? They
Fucking
cut
stinks.
they cut DeAndre Carter to add a running back. Well, A, you have 2 running backs that are banged up, and B, can you repeat that, Tommy?
He fucking stinks.
Exactly. Exactly.
I mean, guys fall in love with practice squad players in Philadelphia more than Rob, is that like that in Dallas? Like, do you guys fall in love with practice squad crumbs in preseason? Like, do you guys do that? Look at this shit. Look what we're turning. We're worse than fucking Cowboys fans. We're Josh Adams and people
Paul
like
Turner.
this. People
Paul
like
Turner.
this. Paul Turner. Shelton Gibson. Stop. He stinks.
Rasheed Bailey.
Well, I was going to say, is this the Rasheed Bailey effect?
Bryce Treggs. I mean, the list goes on. For your
God.
love affairs.
Bryce
for some
Treggs had that
years.
one catch against the Giants, and fans were obsessed with him.
DeAndre Carter was going to be a project to begin with. He made the team based on his ability to return punts and kickoffs.
Yeah.
And the fact that he could get open for the deep ball. Danny, to your point, he was the next Bryce Treggs. And at this point, you don't need Bryce Treggs. And if you wanted Bryce Treggs, you could go out and get Bryce freaking Treggs.
Yeah, he's out there. He's actually on a beach in Fort Lauderdale today. So he's available, too, if you want to really retread this bitch.
How do you
But
know that?
with
Just
9.
see him
with
on
9,
Twitter?
Yeah.
Having a
And I don't know how I found him. Like, I have no idea. I have no idea how he came up with my feed. I'm like, oh, no, on the gram. He was saw him
I
walking
follow
his
him on
dog.
Instagram, too.
He was walking his dog today. I said, well, he can run a route. He's working out in the sand. He's getting his legs right.
That's
Just go
funny.
straight, Bryce.
It don't matter if you have Bryce Treggs with the first 2 weeks. I mean, it wasn't like 9 was going to hit him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's true, too. I mean, listen, I love Nicky, but, Carson, like Mike's saying, you get more zip on the
Amen.
football, right? You get more zip on the football with him, and he's just a better football player. I don't know what else to say about it. I feel like every time I say something good about Carson, some of the jabrones out there automatically think it's a shot, like you were saying, like it's a shot at Nick. No, we're not being disrespectful to Nick. We're just keeping it 100. Nick's a great backup. In spot starts, he can win you football games, right? In a small sample size, he can win you football games. Over a long period of time, the real Nick Foles will stand up, which is an average quarterback. That's it. Just average. Not great. Not bad.
I just
Right in the middle.
I would like to ask all the people out there who said, well, you could go into next season with Foles as your starter. Let's trade Wentz for a number one. How do those people feel now?
Oh my God, Nick Wright said that. He's like, if I'm the Eagles, I would go see what Cleveland would want for him. Or
To trade Carson?
Yeah, what would Cleveland give up?
I would literally go purchase a gun and let it be known that like I bought it, like all my name, no lies, and literally drive to the Novacare complex and shit would get ugly. But I would want everybody to know. I would want everybody to know.
Yeah.
Like I would take a picture of the purchase
I'll
of the
be
gun.
right there with you.
Boom. Danny, let's go. Buy your gun. We're heading.
I'll turn myself in right after. Like, yeah, I killed Howie Roseman.
I don't know. I'm just taking him hostage. I'm letting Joe just stay in there and mull it over. Like, Joe, think about this, Joe. And I'm with Joe, you think about this because you'll be in the fucking trunk too, okay? All you guys think about what you're doing here.
Jeff?
Go get an old school caddy.
Jeffrey?
Go get an old school caddy with a lot of trunk room.
Oh, you know we do it. You know we do it. You know what I mean? Funny.
Tom will be walking in there all Pulp Fiction. You will know. It'd be all Samuel L. Jackson style for Pulp Fiction.
I'll just have a recorder of Samuel yelling. I'll just be talking.
Exactly.
But like
the path of the righteous man.
I mean, the only logical trade this all season was Nick Foles. It wasn't Carson Wentz. And I was a believer in not trading Nick Foles just because I knew Carson wasn't going to be ready week one. And with all due respect, we'd be 0-2 with Nate Sudfeld. Okay? I mean, that's just factual. Shut the fuck up, Greg. No shot. Okay? We'd be 0-2 with Nate Sudfeld.
There's cleaner ways to do it than a gun.
There is.
That might be the fastest, but there's a lot cleaner.
Bats.
Well, the bat wouldn't be cleaner.
They're just, hanging him off the wall until he changes his
I
mind.
was thinking more like carbon monoxide in the building, but that might take
That
out
works,
more.
too.
That might take out more people than you wanted.
Then we might take Carson out. I'm like, what do we do? Until we backfire.
Well, that totally backfired.
If he's in there at 4 a.m. during the offseason, maybe he's out by 10. You never know.
It's true. Sorry, Mika Ray, I was reading this. I don't think Gordon will play because of his problems. I would sign Dez over Gordon. Well, we were talking about a little bit of that earlier in the week.
Well, that just became common sense when it got to the point where there was just literally no reports linking Dez and the Eagles at all. But you did hear that the Eagles were going to be bringing in veteran wide receivers. Immediately, to me, it was common sense that it was Matthews and Macklin. And then those were the names that started getting floated. There was another name, and it is completely escaping me now. A guy who used to play for Atlanta.
Wide out.
Yeah, not Roddy White. I'll figure it out. But there was
Roddy.
a guy that used to play for Atlanta.
Harry Daniels?
Yes, or Harry Douglas.
Harry Douglas.
Harry Douglas was another name that was floated out there. I also wouldn't have been opposed to them bringing Corey Coleman in for another look after New England released him to make the trade for Josh Gordon. I mean, they had him scheduled for a workout anyway before he got traded before he signed with New England. And I think Corey Coleman is one of those guys. What was he, a second rounder? First rounder by Cleveland. I just think he's one of those guys that he went to a shitty situation and let the situation affect who he was as a player. And if you bring him to a better situation, now, of course, we know all about Cleveland's talent evaluation, so maybe he really wasn't a first rounder. Maybe he's a second or third rounder. But you bring him into a better situation, and he's probably going to flourish.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, I thought New England was going to be a good situation for him before they went and upgraded with Gordon.
Up there, it's just a matter of head count because eventually Edelman comes off a suspension, and then
they're just trying to get through it, the same way we are. Yeah. I mean, they're in the same boat. They're just trying to figure out some vets that can come in and get it done.
That's instantly a pretty decent wide receiver room up there in New England.
How much
Josh Gordon, Edelman, and Phillip Dorsett.
And you're missing one, too.
And Hogan.
Hogan's a good four.
And the lacrosse player.
Yeah.
That is Hogan.
How much do they wish right now that they hadn't let Amendola get away?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, maybe not now. If Gordon
Gordon
plays,
right.
Sorry, Danny. Yeah, I mean, love having you. If
Yeah.
Gordon's on the field with 12, the last time we've seen 12 of any resemblance of a legit wideout, he fucking threw 500 touchdowns.
Yeah.
So the rest of the league's put on notice. If Josh Gordon's playing,
decline Randy Moss.
if Josh Gordon's playing, it's going to get ugly.
Yeah.
It's going to get ugly in the NFC. I'm telling you right now. You're looking at your MVP of the league if Josh Gordon's healthy. Not Gordon, Brady. Because he might throw fucking 40.
Yeah.
Seriously, it'd be that sick.
And Gordon's a Pro Bowler.
I mean, Tyrod Taylor's throwing balls to Gordon for touchdowns.
His
Tyrod
touchdown week 1 was sick. Like,
it was pretty sick.
So
Great
if Gordon
catch.
is on the field, like,
I think
Gordon's
both
gonna be
parties
unreal.
needed this. Make sense?
Yeah.
I feel like Cleveland needed the break and just say, you know what? Just everything over our head. There's just too much over our head with this guy. It's going on for 6 fucking years. You know what I mean? Like, just wash hands. And I think for the kid, where he hasn't won a football game in that organization since 2014.
Yeah.
I got a bold prediction for you.
I think he needs to wash in a fresh start. I think both parties just needed to say, you know what? We've tried this for 6 years. Let's just move on. Let's move on.
I got a bold prediction for you right now.
Jarvis Landry helps that.
Bold it up.
Belichick lays a 50 spot on Matt Patricia Monday night.
Oh, there's no doubt.
And Josh Gordon has 3 touchdowns.
I'm not disagreeing
Let's
with it.
go.
I'm not disagreeing
That's my
with it.
fantasy wide receiver. Let's go.
I mean, I'm going to tell people.
now you're gonna make me take the Patriots on my pool.
The suicide?
How crazy is that though? That you've got Doug playing Frank Reich this week.
Yeah.
And you've got Belichick playing Matt Patricia this week.
And Detroit's not very good right now.
No, not so much.
They're not very good. Matt Stafford all of a sudden can't sling it.
You want your sleeper of the week fantasy pick for a running back? If you're in a PPR, Theo Riddick, because Detroit will be playing from behind the whole game.
Yep.
Theo Riddick may get 20 targets.
That motherfucker just catches footballs, right? I mean, that's all he does is just catch footballs. Where was that? So Mike Parker was talking about Carson's stance and throwing motion are way better. You know what's wild is, like, how do you get better when you're hurt and that kind of injury?
This is all you're working on.
I'm just your stance and your foot. You know what I mean? Like, stuff got better, stuff got cleaner and tightened up, which is just it's remarkable to me.
Well, you know
It
why?
really is.
I know the answer to that, and you guys actually do too. If you really think about it, it's because when you're doing the rehab, your therapist, for lack of a better term, makes you do the mechanics the right way, because that's the way that you are guaranteed to stay healthy. If you don't have the cleanest, most solid mechanics the right way, you're susceptible to being re-injured. And you hear this a lot about guys coming off of injuries, and all of a sudden the technique is better, or the technique is more refined, or they look sharper, or the release point is better. It's because the rehab forces you to work not just on the strength, but on the technique, because if the technique's bad, you're susceptible to re-injury.
No, that makes
It's almost
makes
like
a ton of sense.
It's almost like the old school drills you do at baseball.
Well, and that's why I was
right?
looking specifically at you guys.
like on a knee. You
Yeah.
know, no lower half.
Right.
Or just
Because
rotate
baseball,
the hips.
exactly.
You know, no lower half.
And he was doing a lot of that.
And he was doing a lot of that. And then you're right. All right, now you just stand in your stance. No movement, but stay in your stance.
feet straight like
and then
that.
just,
Right.
just go.
Which is going to tighten the ball up, which is what they're talking about.
absolutely.
And to me, when I saw him throw the other day, I mean, he had a little Rodgers zip to it, tightness, just the throwing motion. Everything about it had a little Rodgers to it. So, I mean, it's amazing that, with that kind of injury that you can get better in an offseason, because usually it hurts your
Well,
development
that
a lot
was-
of times. Injuries like that hurt, especially your lower half
Yeah.
for a lot of guys. And for him, we're all intents and purposes, what everybody's saying, all reports, is that everything looks that much better. Dude, that's hard to do when you were on an MVP pace to get better. That
was his biggest jump from year 1 to year 2 was his footwork in that offseason. He worked a lot on his footwork, and that was why he jumped in production and his progress jumped.
Well, then we talk about that early on. I mean, I don't know if you were here year 1 when we had these conversations, but I was a big believer in him starting right from day 1, right through the door, day 1, start, get through the learning curve, all that kind of stuff, and then year 2 you can make your jump. You know what I mean? Because I felt like if you waited to year 2 to start, that jump can be hard sometimes for some guys. Now, Mahomes, not so much. But some guys,
no, you're right.
Some guys, that's tough. Some guys just need to get out there and play. And I always say, if I'm drafting a quarterback in the top 10, whatever, top 15, he's starting day 1. And I look at Cleveland and I wonder the same thing. Where you got Baker.
Maybe they're 2-0.
Who, Cleveland?
Yeah.
They absolutely are. I mean, you got a guy who completes 74% of his passes in college 4 years in a row. That's not by accident compared to a guy who completes 50. He's at least going to walk into 63, 64%, right, Greg?
I
mean,
would
at
say,
minimum.
yeah.
How long do you go where you draft the guy number 1 overall is a little different than 10, right? I mean, number 1 overall is right now play time.
I mean, you started Deshaun Kaiser, game 1, and you drafted him in the 3rd round.
Well, the jackass in L.A. did it with Fisher.
Yeah.
He didn't start him day 1. and then start him later on in the season. That's what idiots do.
Yeah.
The smart ones say, we're not winning anyway. We just drafted number 1 or number 2 at the Eagles, whatever. You know what I mean? Just go. Play. Get the rust out.
Yep.
Not the rust, but get the kinks out. Get the speed of the game. Catch up to the speed of the game. All them kind of things. Take your first big hit. One thing I like about Baker is he moves well in the pocket like Carson does. So it's like them kind of guys. It's not like you're going from Tyrod to a guy who can't move. That'd be a little different. But
TTP Baldwin just said,
what's up, brother?
Mahomes was phenomenal, but I think he's going to slow down a little bit. Well, of course he's got to slow down a little bit. You don't average 5 touchdowns a week in the NFL.
Like 100 touchdowns.
But we said
it. Fantasy. You're like, what?
We said it here last week. His coach is the quarterback whisperer.
He fucking is.
So how much is he going to slow down?
Dude, he made Vic look like a pocket passer for a minute.
Yeah.
Andy. Like, Andy made Vic look like he could throw from the pocket. Like, the guy can't throw from the pocket. He made him look like he could. Like, what am I watching?
Just remember how good Donovan was in year 2.
Oh.
There you go.
Mike Parker, Baker needs to play ASAP. Jeremy Beal, what's up, fam? Sorry I'm late. Love the fact that Carson is back. He has worked on all his flaws. Having the time being out definitely helped him. Agree. Ralphie D. Baker would have had the Browns 2-0. That's facts. Preach it. Mike Parker, the only thing he's doing on the sideline now is learning how to lose/tie.
SJM86, Brady said after his knee injury he never felt better about his mechanics than during his recovery. There you go.
Let's fucking go. I'm so jazzed. It's like Christmas morning Sunday. You know what I mean? Like, I can't wait to see my baby go to sling it and pimp it and then put the rest of the league on notice that we're back.
Actually, Me of Everything said, I guess they're looking at it as Matthews and Macklin or Dez, so they're going 2 for 1, which I could actually – I could see –
We're going quantity over quality at the NFL level?
No, it's not quantity over quality. It's the devil you know versus the devil you don't. Because let's not forget, Dez only runs 3 routes. Go, stop, and shallow cross.
That's all I need him to run.
Wow.
And Jordan runs what?
And Jordan catches what?
Jordan.
No, I'm fine with it.
Jordan runs everything. He just needs to catch the ball.
It's over with, but I'm not finding I can get Macklin and Matthews for the same price as Dez. No, screw that. Then I'll just go get Dez. Now, if you want to tell me because they know the system better at this point of the year, then I'll buy into that side of it. But I'm not going to buy in over a talent side.
Same thing. I'll buy in. Doesn't mean I have to like it.
Have we seen Dak Prescott throw the football? I mean, I'm not crushing the guy, but I've been saying this since day one, that these guys get better in the pocket. He threw for 160 yards last week, and people want to come out in Dallas
60 of them came on one play.
Proving the haters wrong. Slow down. There's a reason Dez production went down after Tony. There's a reason for it. Because the other guy can't get him the ball as well as Tony could. You know what I mean? That's credit to Tony. Tony could sling it. Say whatever you want about Tony. He could flat out spin it. And that helped Dez's career. They helped each other's career. And sometimes when you go to the next quarterback, this isn't even a shot at Dez. Sometimes when you go to the next guy, the chemistry takes a minute. Well, their chemistry never linked up, Robbie. You know what I mean? They never, Dez and Dak never, their chemistry never matched. Now, is it part a lack of production from Dez as he's getting older? Yeah, but the guy's not 35. Let's calm down. He's not that old. So I think it's twofold. It's Dak hasn't gotten better, and it's him getting a little bit older. So when you equal them both and add them both up, you're going to get a lack of production, which makes it look like the guy can't play anymore. Yeah. I'm not there yet. I think he's 31 years old. He's not that old. He seems older, but he's not that old.
Danny, this is
right, Rob? He's not that old. He's like 31. Dez.
This will be.
I don't even think he's 31.
He might be 30.
Danny, this is in your wheelhouse. Me of Everything says, did anybody hear Devontae Parker say he would look great in midnight green? Maybe it's a sign of things to come for maybe it's a sign of things to come. Fingers crossed, fellas.
Speaking of fingers,
I would love it.
Speaking of fingers, though,
and then,
how's his fingers?
Isn't it another guy can't catch the ball?
And then
can't be on the field.
No, he hurt his finger.
Yeah.
There's been a finger issue.
I know.
Clay Ferguson said Colts are the perfect opponent for Carson to get back in the groove with. Below average talent pool, but a really good quarterback. Should be a good warm up before their brutal October. And they do have a brutal October.
They do. Des Bryant's 29, fam.
That's it.
I'm telling you, people
Is that
think
in dog years?
It feels like it, right?
It does. He feels like he's been around forever.
I know, Mike. It just does. Maybe because he's beating our ass a little bit back a few years
back in the day.
You know, but the thing is like they're making him out like his career's over at 29 years old. Like no, I actually agree with him not taking the 1-year deal for $5 million from Cleveland. I actually agree with it. Like, why would I
would-
take a 1-year deal, $5 million?
I would agree with
I got a 3-year deal left in me. I'm
people.
29.
I would agree with people not taking an $100 million deal for 1 year in Cleveland.
Yeah, true that.
Because it's Cleveland.
I wonder
that.
what would be interesting if, like, say maybe Dez doesn't sign with anybody this year, takes a year off, gets his body really right, and then comes back next year, signs with someone, has maybe not a monster year, but a
real good one.
a good comeback year, and you're like, oh shit,
Like a real good number two.
Yeah.
You know what? And he did say that that we were going to see him this year. At some point this year, somewhere.
Yeah,
I mean, he
he
said that
made-
on his Instagram, his Twitter. He's made it clear. Now, I'm not like over here like blowing Dez Bryant, but he's 29 years old. I think Robbie will sit over there and to a man tell you Dak has not gotten better in the pocket, and that has hurt Dez Bryant. Okay? I think we can all admit to that. We see it. All right? So the fact that he hasn't gotten a shot is sort of crazy to me. But, I believe he's sitting around a 2-3 year deal. I think that's what he's thinking. If you're 29 years old in this league and you were a Pro Bowler your whole goddamn life, are you going to settle for 1 year, $5 million? Like, think about it.
No, really.
Would you?
No.
Look, I know he's a little bit of a me-ish guy.
Uh-oh.
The man is here.
Who?
What up, fellas? Dion. The car popped a belt. Now I'm back home. 2 Sixers of high life on deck. And I plan to guzzle all 12 after what I just went through. LMAO # facts. And then he says, hold on, fellas. I'm on my second channel, but I'll go correct it right now.
Love you, brother. Love the share
Dion.
last. Love the post out of you last night. So much love for it. Yeah, you're kind of having the kind of day I am, even actually worse.
And
Hopefully it goes better. It could be better Sunday for everybody.
We got some highlight, though. You're treading in the right direction.
TTP Ballin wants us to get into some Sixers talk.
We will, right after the break. We'll take a break right now. We'll come back on the other side. We're going to run some trying to be quick. We're going to get the break. We're going to go to break. We're going to come back. We'll talk a little Elton Brand. Obviously, new general manager for our 10-9-8s. We'll continue our Eagles conversation. Fam, listen, we already gave you our score predictions. We'll do it on the other side again and our players of the game. Let us know yours. You can still put it in Facebook, right? Still in Instagram, Twitter. Put it in now. YouTube side of things, throw it in. We're giving away fucking money here. You don't want money, check your pulse, okay? Money talk. Tom.
Mike.
AM.
In the PM.
HUD Radio. I was doing it on purpose. Every Wednesday, we're brought to you by our certified public accountant.
Make 'em yours.
Find them on the web, GibsonMayer.com. And listen, we also got a doc in the house. Every Sunday you can hear him giving you his injury updates on agree, disagree, physical, specialized physical therapy, LLC. Tongue twister sometimes.
Yeah, it is.
But find him on the web, specialized physical therapy, LLC.com. We'll be right back, fam.
Folks, Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Tom Arnone, Big Mikey Smalls, Tom, Mike, AM, in the PM, only on A2DRadio.com.
You're listening to Tom and Mike, AM in the PM, here on A2DRadio.com.
Tom and Mike, AM in the PM, is brought to you by Gibson Mayer, LLC, certified public accountants. Gibson Mayer, located in Yardley, PA, is a leading accounting and business consulting firm with a proven track record of handling critical issues with expertise across many different industries, including construction, distribution, hospitality, manufacturing, real estate, service trades, merchandising, professional services, and professional athletes. Give them a call at 215-369-3300. That's 215-369-3300. Your initial consultation is always free, and if you tell them that Mike from Tom and Mike AM in the PM sent you, you'll receive 15% off all income tax services completed by February 15th. That's Gibson Mayer, LLC, certified public accountants. 215-369-3300. Or visit them on the web at www.gibsonmayer.com. That's www.gibsonmayer.com.
Hi, folks. Bob Mannery here. You're listening to A2D Radio, real sports talk radio for the fans, by the fans, no agenda. These guys are the best in the business. Hashtag it. No notes.
Little third quarter talk. Tom,
Mike,
AM,
in the PM.
ATD Radio, live from the Real Talk Studios every Wednesday night. You guys already know this shit. We're brought to you by our certified public accountant.
Make 'em
yours.
yours.
If you haven't, get a goddamn quote. Gibson Mayer. Find on the web, gibsonmayer.com. Seriously, people, we're here to help you. You got a bad back, you know where to go to. Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC. You know what I mean? We're here to help you. Get your taxes done right. Get your back done right. All in one stop. Well, really two. But you know what I mean. You mean we're one stop where you get all the info. Shit. Nobody listens. Tom Renone, Michael Mataraki, Greg Mwakovic, Danny McGuckin back in the fucking house. Love it. Robbie Pove on the ones and twos. Family out there. We talked about Carson Wentz's return. We gave her scores, obviously predictions, which comes with a score. Defense and offensive player of the game. We'll do that again for you guys that are just joining us. But give us yours. Let us know. And if you're just joining us about our poll question, brought to you by Scanzano Sports, what are your expectations for Carson Wentz's 2018 debut? Like a pimp, 2018 version of Nick Foles, MVP Carson, Rookie of the Year Carson. Still let us know. And remember, scores, offense, defense, player of the game, we're giving out cash like you're a goddamn stripper, and we're putting it right in your underwear. Let's go. You know what I mean?
Holla.
There's all dudes in the chat. But you know what I mean? We're not going there, but we'll find a guy who will do it for you. Boys, I think to a man, we all think he's going to have a good game. Maybe some, like myself, expectations are maybe a little bit higher. Maybe for Danny, you know, his expectations jump in the second half. You know, Greg finds him somewhere around where he was his rookie year, which isn't a bad Carson. And Mike, to me, is a driver two. He's a driver two guy. He thinks that he might be a little bit early, high, and we're both on the same page with that. But we're all in the belief that he has a good game, that he comes out, you know, isn't throwing 3 picks. You know, when you talk about Lane and the guy's excitement about just the way the ball's coming out, his footwork, it's everything. Everything looks great, and you just pray that nothing happens, boys. That's all you got to pray. You just got to pray that nothing happens, and you know the big believer in the dudes upstairs, and you just got to hope that they got his back on this one, right? That's all you got. That's all you can hope for.
Agreed.
A religious dude like that can't get it again, right?
Tebow never got hurt, seriously.
True. So Carson a fake?
No.
Everybody relax. Everybody calm down. Everybody just jump. Everybody just go.
You need that hurdle, right?
Yeah,
Tebow couldn't play quarterback.
Yeah, so he can
So his hurdle was, let me go see if I can play baseball.
And I can flat out rake. Like, what the hell? And he flat out rakes. For the crumbling Mets. Robbie, I did talk to a Mets fan leaving last night, and I guarantee they went back to their friends and said, Philly fans aren't bad dudes. I literally said, dude, I like that kid McNeil, right? I'm like, he freaking rakes. Like every ball he hit was like boom, on the nose. You can hear it when nobody's in the ballpark. Obviously, there's a boom. He does, and he has a little choke up, which I like. And I asked him after the game. I said, "You like this guy? You like the guy McNeil?" And they're like, "Yeah." I'm like, "What took him so long? He's 26." And like, just one of them deals, whatever. And I said, "You know what's funny? He's like, you guys are almost caught us. Like we were so far apart in the standings. You guys almost caught us." And they said, "It's ridiculous." They said we both had great starts to the year, and it just went south real quick. But we had good talk. You know what I mean? There was no bottles thrown. There's no haymakers. You know what I mean? It was just fans talking. Dude, I got no problem with you.
I can
root for whoever the fuck you want to root for.
I can guarantee if he hadn't gotten hurt, Tebow would have been called up. And it probably would have been before September.
Oh, I completely agree. He was hitting too much not to get called up.
And plus, the Mets at the time needed the publicity. They needed the ballpark to be, have a couple extra tickets sold.
Because that's when everything was going real south there.
I would have went to a game when he came here.
Oh, I would have too.
Absolutely.
He's another great guy. And people hate him, and it's like, what are you hating for, dude?
Yeah.
He's not. You know what I mean? He's not pushing anything down your throat. He's a good dude.
Yeah.
But
last Eagle to wear number 11 before number 11.
Yeah.
Touche.
So we got some fam chiming in already on the Elton Brand talk, and we're going to jump back and forth. All right. But Pootie Tank says, I like the Elton Brand hire, but are the Sixers looking to do a GM by committee, or does he have final say?
No.
I'm going to listen. I'm going right to the puppy on this one. We're all Sixers locked in all the time, but the puppy spends a lot of times in the group and hashtagging look for Sixers talk, right, Dan? I know he is. Go ahead.
No, it's going to be a collaborative effort. Brett Brown's going to have a big say on it, and they just needed someone to have that position, be the face of it, I guess, just so it looks good for them. Like you can't go into the season without a GM, but it's. Nothing's going to change much because Elton Brand was already in the front office. So it's kind of just going to stay the same. They just needed to put someone in that place, and that's really it.
Just for a face?
Yeah.
I'm going to disagree with that a little
start,
bit.
you think? Or do you think that's the way?
I mean, maybe he was the GM for the, 87ers or whatever?
Well, I think he was being groomed to take over as the general manager at some point. I think, is it a year or two earlier than they would have liked? Yeah, absolutely. There's no question about that, but I mean, this is a guy, if you look at his resume, I was literally actually just looking at it. I mean, this is a guy who went to Duke. He's the USA Basketball Male Athlete of the Year in 98.
Fuck Duke, but keep going.
ACC Player of the Year in 99. Consensus First Team All-American 99. National College Player of the Year 99. NBA Co-Rookie of the Year 2000. All-Rookie Team 2000. All NBA Second Team 2006 and two-time NBA All-Star. And then in terms of, what he did at Duke, everybody knows that he was just ridiculous at Duke. And then he's been in the organization since he retired, 2006, named the player development consultant for the Sixers, and then, Danny, as you said, was the general manager of the Delaware Bluecoats last year. So, they've been grooming him for this spot. I think they just had to move this along faster than they would have liked.
Well, I heard a lot, from a lot of people close to Brett was, the interview went way better than anybody would have thought it would have. And that's what Wojo was talking about when I heard Wojo talking last night, that the interview was more than what Brett or anybody expected. He really wowed him in the interview process. And, with him already being a part of the organization, that they had other candidates out there that were bigger names that they were targeting, but they thought it was better to keep the guys in place that they had. They thought they were up on to something special here, and it was better to stay in-house and keep having the same guys you have, him and another 3 or 4 guys that they have in place here to be able to do this, then go outside and get somebody else who then is going to bring in different people. They thought to keep the structure they had was better than going outside the organization. So that's Wojo. He never lies, so I'll run with that.
All the accolades you mentioned that he has, I think it's good for, so you needed someone to be be the head of it, be the GM, but that allows him to have good connections. So the front office looks better.
Well,
I agree.
To me, a guy with those kind of accolades in your front office, he's not just a suit. Because how many times, we'll call it the Klentak effect, or even going back, the Howie effect. or it's a guy who never played the game is running your team.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is a guy who not only played the game, but he played it at the highest level. And if you go back to Joel's rookie year, who was it that they brought in to mentor him as he was going through his development there?
Yeah, Mike, you're spot on. And you're talking about going outside this organization and being able to lure another star-type player. Well, to me, that's easier to do when you have a guy who played at a high level in this league, was an all-star in this league, and without the injuries, probably would have been more than a two-time all-star, right? Can we agree on that?
Oh, absolutely.
So, really talented, and I think that translates to being able to talk to other players when they come in. I mean, think about it. Like, you're going to go talk to a numbers guy, or you're going to talk to a ball player. Like, what these guys want. It's a fraternity. They want to go talk to a ball player. All right, now it's a little different. I want to touch on this for 1 second, what the Clippers went and did. And I was arguing with Ralphie about this earlier, but Lee Bryce, right, the former SI writer that they brought in to now be their in personnel of some sort, okay? But that's all a Kawhi Leonard target, okay? He's the one who wrote the piece on Kawhi Leonard. He's the one who has the relationship with Kawhi Leonard. That's all the lure Kawhi, since he wants to play in L.A., to the Clippers. Why do you think Jimmy Butler, one of his teams now, is the Clippers? So that was their whole reason behind it. So they had something behind their reason to go make this kind of move. And I think the same thing for the Sixers. I think what they realized throughout this free agent process is, one, without a head of the organization, essentially as your GM or personnel, right? Without that head or that face, it was hard to go land somebody. So the way they looked at it is like, well, do we go outside and lure a big-time name GM, or do we stay with a former player? And I think Brett and his organization made a hell of a decision to stick with a player. Now, you can add your numbers guys around him, okay? You're going to need a financial guy next to him.
Like Eversley. What's his first name? Mark Eversley or something like that? Yeah.
You need the financial guy right next to him, right, hand in hand with a financial guy, because you can't expect Elton at this point in his tenure as a general manager to be able to get it all right early on. So you need a big numbers guy. Real quick, Andy Ritter chiming in. I just want to touch on it. Could you check out Jackson the Ritz in this very ring on A2D every Monday, 12 o'clock is when we upload to, it drops on Facebook and YouTube. They're from Houston, so obviously we haven't figured out the streaming-wise, but they had a great first week. I believe they were like 4.5K in views on an upload. I was thinking about uploading my goddamn fucking show. So everybody's uploading, you know what I mean? But hell of a first week. Really set the bar goddamn high for him, but happy to have him. Andy, great dude. They do an awesome job over there, so check him out. But he's got Birds 28-14. Carson's going to be out for the player of the game. He's going to be on fire Sunday, so I wanted to get that out before I missed it.
He lives in Houston. He's from here.
He is from here, Mike?
He is from here.
You know what's funny? Wilson moved to Houston at one point, and it literally 10 minutes apart from where they used to live from each other. It's fucking small world, dude.
I remember you said that on
ridiculous. Sunday. TTP says, plus, he's surrounded by mediocrity. Yeah, he's talking about something else. Okay, he's talking about Cleveland. All right. 7-seed talk.
Who, the Cavs?
I guess he's talking about the Cavs. Deion Brown says, it's rumors they are working out behind closed doors with Kobe. I've also read Joel has been working with Duncan and his staff as well. How true? That is only go off of what I read. Well, I would ask you just where you're reading it. I mean, I would.
Who's working out with Kobe?
I don't know.
I know who was working out with Kobe. It was Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
Wasn't anybody on the Sixers?
That's the wrong guy.
No, but
Jason Tatum.
Fultz and Tatum were playing a lot of ball together this summer. So
They're best friends off the court.
Yeah. So was I would assume Markelle was probably what you're saying around Kobe. Well, soak it in. Mama mentality,
baby. If
he
was, there wasn't any video released.
No.
But there was a lot of video of Kobe and Jason Tatum.
Well,
they're talking about Ralphie, and TDP's talking about Ralphie and the Lakers with 7-seed talk. Okay.
Gotcha.
Just to confirm. He ain't jumping.
Crumb talk.
Yeah, I thought he was jumping. I thought TDP said 7-seed talk. I'm talking more two. We're a 1 or 2 seed. So what the hell?
Ralphie got mad at me when I said the Lakers are a 5 seed.
Sorry.
Listen, he's a flat-out disgrace. Okay, when it comes to October, fuck you, Ralph.
If he's getting mad at you for that, yeah, because it's 7 or 8 seed at best. They don't even sniff the playoffs without LeBron.
No, did he say? He says, yeah, we talking about winners and not losers. He's such a crumb. I can't wait. I can't wait till Kawhi and Jimmy both go to the Clippers, and they're better than the Lakers. You fucking fraud. I can't wait. I can't wait. You'll be handing your Kobe jersey in for a Kawhi jersey, you scumbag. Catch Ralph in the Fix every Wednesday, 6 o'clock, ATD. That's how we talk in our family.
I'm sure.
Our dinner tables go.
I'm sure Brodo loves that now.
What, the plug? Oh no, he knows.
No,
October.
He loves the plug. He hates it. He's gonna have to talk to Ralph about this.
He
shit.
hates it. Through like a 4 or 5 month period, he's not happy coming on Wednesdays. Especially like where the LeBron thing happened. I think he took the vacation right after. I think the vacation came out of nowhere. We're going away 2 weeks. Got to get away from Ralph.
Out of the country. On a boat.
The Lakers made some solid moves to surround them, but yeah, they're a 6 or 7 seed. But Elton Brand doesn't affect our team this year, and I think Joel Embiid is going to be the MVP of the NBA this year. I think he has a monster year, and that's why I think the Sixers are a 1 seed. I know we're early on that. Danny, follow the lead, baby. He's the most dominating player in the NBA.
I said 2 seed. 1 seed.
I think we're better than the Clippers. We're better than the Celtics. We are better. Markelle Fultz makes us better than the Celtics. It makes us better. Come see us. See us.
Here's what I'm.
You know how I feel about Fultz.
Can't wait. Come see us.
Here's what I'll be looking for out of Elton this year, and it's very similar to what Brett and BC did last year, where they went out and Ilyusova and Bellinelli got bought out of their contracts, and a couple of veteran guys that they knew would fit the system, that they had the relationships with, and they brought them in. Elton's got relationships all over the league, and there's a real good chance he's going to know that guys are getting bought out of their contracts before a lot of other GMs out there. So if he can get inside track on some guys that are basically being paid by one team, and all he's got to do is give them that veteran minimum for the rest of the year, but those are guys that can come in and contribute for 2-3 months. That's where I think Elton's going to pay off this year.
I agree with that, Mike. And they hit Ralphie and Kyle back. Ralphie says, Joel, an MVP year, and he, freaking out laughing, go to bed. Kyle says 1 seed, time lay off the bong. How's a 1 seed a fucking reach for this team? They were a 3 seed last year. Cleveland's gone. Cleveland's gone.
Remember, Kyle's also saying we're not going to have a better year this year, but we're going to have more wins.
Cleveland is gone. It's us and the Celtics. If you don't think Ben Simmons, like TTP saying he's worked out with LeBron a lot, okay, and Joel Embiid and Markelle Fultz aren't going to get better. Markelle Fultz had some of the best rookie numbers over minutes, and the guy couldn't shoot, okay? So wake up. Grow up, Peter Pan, and lock the fuck in for a minute.
No, because what they're going to tell you is they're going to say, well, you're forgetting Toronto. They got Kawhi.
I'm not scared of Toronto at all.
Toronto, I said it to you guys at the beginning of the season last year, and it was exactly spot on what I told you. They're freaking pretenders. They are a regular season basketball team. They're freaking pretenders.
They're my 3 seed.
And for as
who
good
built
of
them?
BC, for as good of a player as Kawhi is, he doesn't single-handedly put them on his back and carry him through the playoffs.
It's not a LeBron effect.
Right.
First of all,
Kawhi and Kyle Lowry,
he played with the greatest coach of all time.
Yeah.
His system makes guys better. Okay, now I'm not taking anything from Kawhi because you got to put the ball in the bucket. Okay, and he's a freak, but his system is the best system ever in the NBA.
Back up the train for a second. Best coach of all time?
Yep,
that's a great Twitter poll question.
It really is because it's debatable as shit.
You got to figure it's either Phil or Pop.
Well, what Pop's done over the last 5 or 6 years has taken him above everybody because he's done it with
what he did this past year.
You know what I'm saying? He's done it with nothing.
When you do it with Puppy Duncan, Puppy Parker, Puppy Ginobili, that's expected. When you do it over the hill, Parker, Ginobili, and Duncan.
Here you go. Red Auerbach, Pat Riley, Phil Jackson, Greg Popovich. It's got to be one of those 4. Has to.
Yeah, I agree. We should do that. We'll do a show on that, like when it's the dog days. Well, we got the dog days. We'll do a show on just who's the best NBA coach of all time.
I feel like Pat Riley's really underrated.
Yeah, no question.
He's totally underrated.
He's underrated.
He's underrated as an exec too.
Well, let me Showtime you. You know what I mean? I'm gonna walk into 80. I might win 82. The family chiming in with a lot of stuff, and they're smart as shit, and this is why we love them. And they get it. And where are we at? me of everything says you got to look at Fultz as a free agent signing.
Yes.
I think we talked about that before. It really is. I love this kid. I know Danny loves him. I know Greg doesn't really, and that's a great thing.
Danny
because
loves
I
him.
more than love Markel Fultz. That is my fucking son.
That's
all right?
that's an understatement.
Like me and a Double.
He's not your son. He's your soulmate.
It's my job. It's my job to defend him. I
bigger.
got to inform the people. I can't stand it.
There's nothing to defend. Danny, understand this? There's nothing to defend. A guy got a little case
People
of the
are
hips.
stupid. They don't know, so
They
I
don't
have to tell them.
understand. Okay, let the shooting coach talk for him. Okay,
Right.
and wake the hell up. He's telling you he's going to be an all-star if this shot stays the same. He's letting you know he's surrounded by greatness. He's surrounded by the best distributor in the NBA. And come see me if you don't think he is. Please at me. Please at me. There ain't nobody on the Celtics that can distribute the way Ben Simmons does. You surround him with a freaking flat-out, knockdown shooter like a Markel
An
Fultz.
assassin.
And the best big man in the NBA, okay? You got the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. Please, come see me. I don't care what else is on the court. I don't care. Them 3 are going to be that good that they're going to take over the NBA. I'm telling you what's going to happen.
Actually-
you heard it here. I'll see you on Broad a lot.
Well, what I've said before. Go ahead.
No, it's
And we'll beat Golden State, too. Come see me.
You can take it in a second, but it's funny because I meant to send you something today, and I got completely sidetracked because, work. Top 5 most underrated players in the NBA who will turn into breakout stars this year. Who do you think number 1 was?
Dario.
It was Dario.
And
it's our guy that we've been
son.
talking about for 3 years.
Thanks, brother, because that's my son, and I can't believe I left him out of the 3. I got a big 4 here. You understand something here for Kyle out there? And, well, Kyle's a Sixers fan, but for the crumb out there, Ralphie, for the other 3 for 4 crumb, okay? How do you not see this? Like, take the blinders off. You have to go out and make a splash off, okay? And look at it. You build it homegrown like the Warriors did. This is what you did here. You don't need LeBron to get over the hump now. LeBron went west. In 2 years, you're better than the Warriors. I'm telling you what's going to happen here. We have a big 4. They got a big 3. Okay? As Ben gets better, who's stopping him there? Draymond?
Right.
You know what I mean?
What I've been saying, like a year or 2, maybe
Apartment
3.
on Broad, Mike Parker said. I love it. Here we go from that apartment on Broad Street. Sorry.
Like 2,
I love it.
Good Lord. Go ahead, Danny.
like 2 years from now, I think the Sixers are going to have 3 top 10 players, which is going to be sick.
And another top 50. And another top 15, Dario. Come see us. I mean, really comes. I'm loving this. I can't wait. I can't wait till we win. I can't wait till we win 58 to 60 games this year. I really can't. I'm so excited.
I said I'm going 60.
Listen, I might go 72. I love my puppies. I love me my puppies. Let's go. Giddy up.
I just can't wait until Zaire is healthy so that Rocco could go to the bench.
Please. Now, you don't think Zaire's a red shirt year-long situation,
Well,
do
they
you?
said he'll be back by Christmas, but even by then, I don't think he's going to play much.
Christmas.
You
We
talking
know how that
Christmas,
goes.
you might as well talk all year.
Yep. Man, nothing's changed.
But even if he does come back by Christmas, I don't think he's going to play much.
I don't mind that.
Neither do I.
I don't. If you look at the situation with the trade that they made, where you basically traded a guy who was a junior coming out of college for a freshman coming out of college. If it was Mikal Bridges and he was coming back in December, okay, you come back in December, you play.
Yeah.
With Zaire, you come back in December, I had no problem with you sitting the rest of the year.
Listen, the red shirt situation has worked extremely well for this organization.
Yep.
And with the people out there that don't understand it or don't want to wrap their head around it, you're bringing in babies. You're bringing in freshmen out of college. You're talking about – and look at Lonzo for a minute, okay? Look at the shoulders now. He looks like an NBA guy now, an NBA body, right? His rookie year, didn't it? Ben, when he first got drafted,
He looks so different.
So different.
Yeah.
Look at the body build. Joel the same way. Look at the man strength start to come in, right? You're going to see Markel look like a grown man this year.
I think Markel looks bigger already.
Exactly. So the red shirt thing, and for a guy like Zaire, another young puppy here, a freshman, like you said, Mikel's a different story. Bridges is different. He's a senior, he's ready to go type guy. That's his body, right? Zaire's body he hasn't even grown into yet. So the year off doesn't hurt this organization. It helps it. It lets the guy see the game at the highest level from the outside. It lets him learn from other guys that have been there now a couple of years how to be a pro. All this stuff I think has worked for this organization. And if you don't have to rush kids, why rush them? And they're not going to complain. They're still getting paid.
I actually think Landry Shamet is going to be a really underrated underrated player.
2 for 2, Mike. Well done.
I forgot. Oh,
it's fine.
We got Young Bull in the house tonight, so I had to be strong with my basketball. I had to be on point.
I was like, even with the injury, I'm still happy with the trade. Like Brett still got his guy who he worked out twice before the draft, and you still have the Miami pick, which is a great asset. So I don't care about the injury. I still love the trade. I'm glad what happened.
Yeah, I mean the kid could suck, and the everything's about the pick.
Right.
Everything's.
But
about
I still
that
think
pick.
and
I'm saying, and he might be good. I'm just saying the kid could suck, and that whole trade was about the kid.
But
and saving that mill.
I just like how the whole idea where you got your guy and an asset.
Listen, everything now is just add-on pieces.
Facts.
None of this. Like the draft days are long gone for me. They've been over for a minute, right? Since Markel had ended, that was the day where we didn't talk draft anymore. You know what I mean? That was
Hold the phone. Because if that Miami pick turns into a number 1 overall, I'll talk
Well,
draft.
then we're back.
Well, wait. Let's just say
You stop right there.
The NBA.
If that's a number 1 pick, I'm back.
Well, you know what happens?
I'm back.
You know what happens when
little broad?
Well, you know what happens when teams are on their farewell tour too. You know, when guys are on their farewell tour in organizations,
Still a Dwayne Wade.
it usually doesn't go well.
No, not so much.
Usually not well, unless you're like Timmy. You know, like Duncan. That farewell tour
It kind
was
of
good.
excites me a little bit that Joe's working with little Timmy.
Uh-huh.
I mean, that guy didn't have any good footwork or anything to teach or nothing.
I'm telling you right now, though, you look at Miami, like you said, Dwayne Wade on the farewell tour, Hassan Whiteside basically collecting a paycheck. I mean, they got some guys that can ball, but that team's going down, not up.
Yeah. And they got bad contracts with Tyler Johnson and stuff. Yeah, I can see that pick being real nice.
Although if they want to get rid of Goran Dragic, I'll take them off their hands.
Get him, Dion. Said Ralphie D, are you kidding me, fam? I have a bungee cord to jump off over any bridge in Philly. We 215s are the smartest fan base across any league, fam. Watch your language. Let's go. Put the little puppy in his place. You know what I mean? Crumb. Said, me of everything, we don't need Jimmy. And I agree. I don't need Jimmy Butler. I know TTP was talking about Dario. Listen, I'm good. I'm good on the Jimmy Butler. I like Jimmy Butler. I think he's a good basketball player. I have no issue with him. I think he's tough. But I'm good with Dario. I'm good with our kids. I really am. TTP says, Tom, I'm not trading Dario for shit. Okay. But who knows what the front office might look at. He wasn't considered off limits in the Kawhi trade, and Jimmy is only a step down. Well, that's true. Definitely true. But I'm a big believer in chemistry and growing something together. And Jimmy Butler is real as good of a basketball player he is. You know, how does it work chemistry wise with these kids when you have a guy at Dario who can be just as good, if not better, than Jimmy Butler? You know what I mean? Dario could be a guy looking for a max deal too. You know what I mean? He could turn into that he could turn into that player. I'm not saying he's going to average 30 a night. You know what I mean? But overall game, they're really similar games essentially on what they can do. You know, both can hit the three.
They're grinders.
Both are grinders. They're similar guys. So why get older? That's my look. Why have to max contract it now and get older?
Well, my thing with Jimmy Butler is, for me, he's a volume scorer. He needs to put up a quantity of shots to get his points. Now, can he put the ball in the basket? Absolutely. But there was only one quantity shooter I was willing to take on this team this year, and that was LeBron. After that, if you're a quantity, you need to put up 20 to 25 shots a game. You're not a fit on this team because there's other guys that need those shots.
Oh, yeah, I mean, Jimmy Butler's a good player, but I mean, just the way the friggin' Bulls, the Bulls that had him, who drafted him?
Bulls. Yeah, the
Bulls. Just the way the Bulls found. I think Jimmy Butler is a dime a dozen type of guy. You can find those guys in the draft.
Yeah.
He has turned himself into an upper echelon player, but I don't think he's not a top-tier player. He might not even be a top 2-tier player.
No, but he wants that max money as he is a tier player.
Right. So to your point, would I hate it if it happened? No. I'm not a huge fan of Jimmy Butler because I think you could find him a la like a Dario type of person in the draft, or even if Markel maybe turns into something like that. I think it's, that's the type of maybe track you can have for Markel. Is a Jimmy Butler type,
I'll tell you this much, though. Jimmy Butler's smart as hell because he laid his 3 teams out there, and it was Brooklyn, New York, and the Clippers.
And L.A.
Which basically means he wants to play in L.A., but he doesn't want to play with LeBron. He'll settle for New York.
Yeah.
Well,
And let's not get it twisted. Playing in Brooklyn and playing for the Knicks is the same thing. You live in Manhattan. Bottom line. He's not going there to win.
Or North Jersey.
Yeah, he's not going there to win. He's going there to live in Manhattan.
Yeah.
The whole thing with the rumors with Kyrie to New York. So I don't know if they're a little behind the scenes super team. I wouldn't be scared of Jimmy Butler and Kyrie Irving with our guys, but it would still be. It would still be. Oh, and Kristaps there too, so it would still be interesting.
If you go Butler,
Kristaps.
if you go Kyrie, Butler, and Kristaps, put them up against Joel, Ben, and Markelle.
No, I'm taking our
or
guys all
Dario.
day.
I'm taking all day.
But
all day with our guys.
It definitely weakens the Celtics, which I love.
Well, I mean, I think everyone being healthy weakens the Celtics.
Yeah.
To Tom's point, with the Sixers being the 1 seed, I mean, you're now forcing, with the Celtics being entirely healthy, you're now forcing either Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown to the bench.
Yeah.
Because you have Kyrie back, and I'm sorry, Terry Rozier.
And you're
You
paying
have Kyrie back.
Yeah.
You're paying Gordon Hayward.
$34
You
million.
brought back Marcus Smart. Mm-hmm. So you're not bringing back Marcus Smart to come off the bench.
One basketball.
One basketball. Who's getting it all? And you have arguably your best player now is on the bench.
Yeah.
Stevens is a good coach. I think they will figure it out eventually, but I can see early on them having some chemistry issues, and that's why I can see the Sixers.
What's he going to do?
trade
What's he going to
happening.
do? Treat it like Kentucky? Everybody gets 18 to 20 a night.
Yeah.
And with that, I can also see the Sixers going up their game one, stealing one because they don't have their shit figured out yet, which is what I hope happens.
It's probably why you heard the rumor of
I think we roll that
Hayward being involved in trade talks, like to get Kawhi. I mean, obviously the money, and Pop would probably love getting his hands on a Gordon Hayward, but it's probably why he was rumored out there because you're right, there is one ball and you only have so many guys.
I'll go back to what I said last year when the playoffs ended. Other than them going up there and getting rolled in game one, which was the first playoff experience for 3/4 of that team, games 2 through 5, they outscored the Celtics by 3 points combined. That series was way closer than people realize because they look at the score of game one and then they look at the fact that the Sixers lost the series 4-1. That series happens again this year. Sixers are winning that series.
Absolutely.
And it may not even go 7.
No, I agree. I think they're a better basketball team. That's why I think they're the 1 seed, and I think game 1 of the year they're going to show it real quick how good they are. And I think we beat that ass. And I'm not going to say we beat them by like 20 or something, but I think we beat them by 8 points. Somewhere around that area, 6 to 8 points. I think it's a good win, and it gets us off running. And I think that's going to change the perception out there that they're better than us. Because I just don't think they are. I think they matched up well with us in the playoffs last year. That was our first taste of it. That was they were a team that were in the finals the year before. So a little different on your first time, and you already been there. I'll know what it takes. And they exposed us on the wings. And that's something we handled and got better at. So I'm not as worried anymore.
But that's all we were looking for from this team, though. Get a taste. Now, you're right. As the year went on and we become the 3 seed, expectations change. And especially, the way we fought and we ended up handling Miami. Miami punched us in the face and we came back.
Yeah.
And we then we punched back.
Miami actually almost literally
punched
us
his
in the face.
Was it disappointing when you lost to Boston? But when you're right, when you look at the actual inside the numbers and you realize how close that series minus game 1 really was.
Yeah.
But then you also look at this whole Puppies team first glance.
Yep.
First taste.
Deer in the headlights.
That's all we were looking for.
Deer in the headlights.
We all sat
Yep.
here, before the season, 4, 5, 6, 7 seed. Just get to the playoffs. Just get a taste because who knows in the second year what that's going to do.
Right.
And this is that second year now. And you made it all the way there. I'm sorry.
You're good. To Tom's point about we're going to show people how good we are. What did we talk about going into the season last year with the Eagles? What kind of jump will Carson make? I think with year 2 with Ben and Markelle and a full season for Joel Embiid, or a full offseason to train for Joel Embiid, a healthy offseason. What is that going to do for that? What kind of jump are they going to make? And I think it's going to be a big one.
But see, now
the flaws in their game.
But Danny, that's a good
better,
point, though,
right?
because we actually talked about the same concept last week. Not anymore, because the Birds were a year ahead of schedule, and then all of a sudden they won a Super Bowl, and now they're 2 years ahead of schedule. Phillies looked like they were going to be a year ahead of schedule. Now I don't even know if they're on schedule. Sixers, Last year, they were a year ahead of schedule. If they don't make another jump now, that's a problem. So do I think they're on track to do that? Absolutely. But you can't just continue to say so-and-so is a year ahead of schedule because the Eagles showed us that schedule, if you do it right, doesn't mean jack shit.
No, you're right. You're right, but I think they make this big jump. I expect a huge jump.
Well, it's like I've always said from like a GM standpoint. If you're bombarded with bad contracts in any sport.
Oh yeah.
Got to get creative, like what Boston did a couple years ago when they got creative and traded everyone to L.A. And then they go on and win the World Series the next year with a bunch of nobodies,
right?
Essentially, you get creative, and that's what the Eagles did. They got creative. Doug going for fourth down a lot. Outside the box. Building the confidence. Brett has. I mean, we all know Brett. And have heard all his post game and even in pre-games, and just the confidence that he has in his guys. It's eventually going to pay off.
It's pretty crazy, too, is if you look around the league through the preseason and the first 2 regular season games, look at how many coaches are now going for it on, like, 4th and 3, 4th and 4, 4th and 5 because of what Doug showed last year.
Oh, it's all over now. It really is such a copycat league.
Copycat league.
They all are. This is a good one from Pootie Tang. I'm tired of people saying we got worse because we lost Shootin' Ellie and Ilyasova. I think Chandler and Muscala are going to be just fine.
Completely agree.
And I completely agree. I think Chandler's a huge upgrade.
I think Muscala's an underrated pickup too.
He's a better defender than Ilyasova, and he's just as good of a shooter. I don't understand.
I hate Wilson Chandler as a player. Like when he was away from my team.
Yeah.
Like when he was on the Nuggets or the Knicks,
it
was just like, who are you? You got freaking lips on your – like, who are you, like the new age Kenyon Martin?
Yeah, just get fucking
But he's the exact type of guy that this team needed.
Right. Absolutely.
A guy that can guard a wing, even at the 3 position, that doesn't take any shit from anybody.
Right.
And he's going to give it back.
He's tough.
He's tough. And, he can score the basketball a little bit.
He's an Eastern Conference Bruce Bowen.
Right.
And TTP about the series last year with the Celtics, he said people disregard how close that series really was. If Bellinelli's foot is an inch further back, we win Game 3. We lost Game 5 by 1 basket. And so he's saying that could easily swung to, if those 2 factors swing our way, we're up 3-2 in that series. So a lot closer than the series at the end, on numbers indicated.
Which is what I've been preaching.
Yeah. So I mean, they're right there, and we got better. And then everybody's saying that in the chat. All our Sixers family pretty much agrees with that. But any closing thoughts, boys?
I was just gonna say real quick about Chandler, why he's better than Bellinelli. He can put the ball on the floor a little bit more, which is what we really needed too. So
get to the basket, create your own shot, things you need.
I love the Elton Brand thing so much. I wanted to lead with it. I wanted to come out hot, do 20 minutes on Elton, and then turn our attention to the Birds because I think this is going to be a really, really good hiring.
No, I do too. I think for all the points we sat here and talked about tonight.
I'm iffy on him. And it's not.
Well, that's fair. I mean, you don't know yet.
It's not necessarily Elton. It's just
the organization.
Are you? Well, no, not even that. But are you going to continue the process, or are you going to try and make your own name for yourself? You know what I mean? By trying to a la be a Brian Colangelo and kind of go rogue a little bit every once in a while, and that's where I just don't know. I mean, has he been groomed for the position and staying inside? Does it, keep that cohesiveness together? Absolutely, all great points. I just when I heard it, I was like, oh, okay. And then the more it started to sink in, I go, is it real? Am I really okay with it? You know what I mean? Like, I don't hate it.
It's
you know what I
different.
mean? I don't hate it. I don't necessarily love it right now.
It's different, though.
Yeah, it is different.
You went 2 different ways.
I mean,
you went Sam Hinkie analytics. You went Brian Colangelo because it was safe, essentially.
Well, it was forced on us, too.
Okay, and absolutely. And then things blew up there. And to me, you went and got a safe hire, a guy you can groom even more, and a former player, which just helps you with players. You say a lot about. I want guys who played a little bit.
No, I don't necessarily mind that at all.
Well, I would tell you and the fam, watch the press conference tomorrow, because if he's very deferential to Brett and the organization in the press conference, then you know that this is basically just him as a figurehead. But if he comes out in this press conference and he shows some authority and has some creative ideas that he shares with the media, then I'm all in. Absolutely all in.
Okay,
I like it to begin with, but I'd be all in on that.
That's totally fair. Let me read
Absolutely.
Sweeps' comment before he kills me because he always texts instead of coming in the
Come
chat.
on, Sweeps.
He said, "What's up, boys? Great
What's up,
show."
Sweeps?
He took a shot at Kyle, and then he says, "And the Birds roll 34-17. The Pope is back in Philly." And he goes, "Red Auerbach was decent," talking about coaches. And then he said, "You better read my shit."
Your shit has been read.
Not sure why I just laughed at what Charles sent me.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. The press conference is going to be a lot, but and to that point, and to what Danny said before too. Yeah, is he just a puppet? Is he just a puppet master and just a head, or is he legitimately that next guy? You know what I mean? You're right. Maybe a year early to where maybe he needs a little help this first year. If you were going that route, and I don't know, maybe they did, but like a Grant Hill would have been a great name to at least talk to.
Yeah, but
you know what I mean?
history
But
of
same
losing.
thing.
I don't need to bring injuries into this.
Here's
Elton Brand won a
Yeah,
lot
but
in
you
LA.
are really going injury. You're going really to like foots and shit. Get the fuck out of here.
here's why I don't
Better
think
than this.
Here's why I don't think he will just be a puppet though, because his basketball resume is immediately better than every single person in that organization.
Yeah, guys are saying in the chat.
Oh, there's no question.
You have everything. Players like playing for players. It's a fraternity. We talked about it.
Yeah.
It'll help attract. I don't think we need to go out and attract superstars because I think they're here. I know. But they just attract other really good basketball players, and I think it matters. Now, how is he working out deals? How's he draft? They're all things that, we're going to find out.
I would have been okay if the Sixers would have thrown a big old curveball at us and said, Brett's now the GM and Elton Brand is the head coach. I think that could have actually worked.
Wow. How about that? How about that curveball? How about that little
Deuce.
How about that little 2-0
I thought you were
hook?
going a totally different direction. I thought you were going like a Doris Burke type of person.
Oh, well, you know what? I like Doris, and I think
Love
she would
Doris.
be great for any organization. I just don't know that she's ready to be a head coach yet.
No, I meant GM or
yeah.
like a head of like
Personnel,
operations,
yep.
like personnel.
I think-
Great talker.
Or in this sense, and I don't mean that to be condescending to Doris, but like the puppet for right now,
but here-
until she learns the gig.
Right, but here's the
And
thing:
I'm
if
sure
you
that's
right, but if you look at
insulting to her because she probably knows more than I know.
right, but if you look at when Elton first came in with that title that he had was like vice president of basketball operations, you give Doris that title for a year just to get her feet wet. I had no problem with her as a GM.
Yeah.
I just think she needs to be in the league as an executive for a year before she starts calling the shots with the team.
And the one thing I do like about Elton Brand is I like him as a person. I really do. Hell, when they signed him as a player, I was on the phone with the Sixers ticket management almost buying season tickets that year. And what actually pushed me off was it would have cost me more to prepay for my parking than it would for me to pay it.
Oh, Jesus.
It was like going to be $15 versus $10 or whatever at the gate. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. I'm out. But when Hinkie ended up bringing him back into the organization a couple years back to help mend the numbers nerds versus the basketball guys,
Right.
That kind of spoke volumes in how at least the Sixers view Elton and the rest of the NBA views a guy like that. And so I mean that is a positive note. That they still have him.
And he's a Duke
around.
guy. So he's obviously not dumb.
And he's a winner.
Yeah.
I've never been. Besides the Eagles getting us down broad. I've never been more happy with an organization on where I think they are and where I think they're going than the Sixers. I'm high on the Eagles, and I expect a lot more, especially with 11. Right? I mean, we know that. I almost could see this team and this group being better. It's tough to overtake what the Eagles are in this city. But I see a team that if they're walking in the 60, 65 win, some big-time wins, you know what that place does. Mm-hmm. And you know what that place did last year and the year before, started rocking in that joint. And basketball's big and huge in this city. It's almost like a cult fucking following like the Flyers are in a way. But we come out in masses, and I can see them stealing a lot of spotlight from the Eagles. I really can.
Well,
and it's hard because, in my opinion, Eagles could be just as good. But I see that tug of war on who's drawing your attention more through the next, 8 years, if not longer.
If you look at the NBA, it's always been a dynasty-heavy league. So hopefully we're the next one.
I believe we are. I really do. I know.
Me
I know.
too.
And I love being the dog again in a way in the East where people want to talk about Boston. People want to talk about Toronto. Don't talk about us.
Yeah.
Don't talk. Because we'll come out,
right.
smack you right in the fucking mouth day one of the year and show you, wow. Because you're going to see Joel, like when he puts the ball on the floor, right? Get out of control sometimes. I see that being cleaned up. Right, with the offseason we talked
passing out
about.
of double teams,
yeah, all of that.
I mean, that's
Ben,
Duncan right there.
I got a 12-foot jumper. You're giving it to me. I'm going to hit it. Right, I see that this year. He's going to shoot the basketball. Markelle, spot-up jumper, off the dribble jumper. It's going to happen. A little fade away. A little, ooh. I see it. I smell it. Dario just being rough
guys in the spin
and
cycle,
aggressive
take them
with
to the
it.
rack.
Oh, it's going to be so much fun. I can't wait. When's opening night again? What's the date again?
October 18th.
Ooh.
Media Day's on Friday.
So early. I remember opening
Yeah,
night.
I thought it was
I
like the
remember
end of
opening
October.
night used
Well,
to be
no,
my
they changed
birthday
it
all the
back.
time, November 1st.
Right, end of October, November.
That's when opening
The-
night, and it used to be both the
Now it goes
NHL and
longer.
NBA. Used to be right around Halloween and my birthday.
And when do the Fly Guys open?
Soon,
Looking good in preseason,
like 2
baby.
weeks, right, Mike?
Well,
2 weeks, 3 weeks.
They're trying to do it so that the playoffs don't stretch into 4th of July weekend.
Yeah, they haven't done that well. It goes so long. I mean, hockey really goes. Hockey like it never ends. Baseball players bitch
Well,
about
that's-
162. Grow up, Peter
That's
Pan.
because there's no such thing as best of 5 in hockey anymore.
No, and either in basketball either. That's why both.
Is it first round best of 5?
Used to be. Now
That's
it's 7 again. We were talking about that last year, right?
Yeah.
We thought it was 5. Me and
That's
Greg.
right.
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
right.
We were all like, yeah, it's 5, and then we're like, no, it's 7. They're all 7 again, which I'm good with.
Money hungry horse.
Absolutely. And me and Len were walking in. It says the bank last night, and she's like, asking it, who makes more, the Eagles or Phillies? And I was like, I know a lot of people are going to say Eagles, but it's not true.
No, the Phillies.
It's not true. The Phillies make a lot more. You got 81 games. That's a lot of goddamn money, right? And the stadium sits less, but if it's selling, you're making more money. So. They definitely make more money. And I would even argue, for the Sixers where you're getting 41 at home, that they can make more money when they're rocking and rolling. It all depends on if you're rocking and rolling. Eagles make a ton. They always make a ton. We know that. Nobody's saying that.
Yeah, the average ticket price for the Eagles is a lot higher than the average ticket price for the Phillies, but you're looking at 8 home dates versus 81.
Yeah, it's tough. And baseball just makes more money somehow. I mean, that's why they pay these guys astronomical dollars because of the revenue sharing.
That's why they talk about baseball teams drawing fans in the millions per season.
Me of everything. He said, Fly Guys should be interesting. What's going to be interesting if we get Carter Hart up? That's the kicker for me.
Next year.
That's been the kicker for me for the Flyers, and I think everybody in this
Right
room.
now.
Right now.
If he's ready, if he's ready, bring him up. Take the training wheels
money
off.
don't make money.
I agree. I just don't think they're looking at him for this year at all. I think what they're saying is get us through one more year, and next year that's our guy.
Stop being scared.
Fuck you, Haxie.
Exactly. You got Elliott and Neuwirth. Bring me Carter Hart. Get rid of one of them. Get rid of one of them. I'm saying if he earns it in camp,
I know guys, dude. I know guys. Italian guys, you want to get it on the cheap. We already talked about Cadillac trunks earlier. We're taking Howie out. Let's take them all out. But listen, let's wrap her up for tonight. Another late one. We'll be coming on earlier soon, boys. Back to the 9 o'clock time slot. Love you all. Thanks for joining us. Oh, Sunday is going to be fucking electric. Tom,
Mike,
AM,
in the PM.
Thank you, Gibson Mayer LLC, our certified public accountant. Make him yours. Find him on the web, gibsonmayer.com, for another edition of AM and the PM. Tom Arnone, Michael Mataraki, Greg Milakovic, Dan McGuckin, Robbie Pove on the 1s and 2s. The family out there, we fucking love you. 10-9-8, Fly Eagles fly. Did the Flyers even got one? Let's go, Flyers. You know what I mean? That's all I got. All right, let's go. And can the Braves collapse, please? Phils, winners of 2 straight series for the first time in 2 fucking months. Fire Gabe Kapler. We're out.